Welcome to the Hammer, Canada. Cars are parked on the lawns, the Lancaster buzzing the tower here. A total sellout of rabid fans, as you'd expect, and the two highest scoring teams in the Canadian Football League. That is your back. What's Simone doing out in the tailgate? Welcome inside the stadium, everyone. Marshall Ferguson alongside Paul Laplace, Matthew Shinetti down at field level for us here throughout a pristine afternoon. It's always beautiful on Labor Day, Lapo, and it's always special.
What I love about this is the only stadium I've ever seen that's in a neighborhood. It's in a community. You can be on your porch having beers with your friends and family and then walk over for the game. And halftime, I can remember being a young coach coming here, and I remember getting off the bus and little kids are yelling, boo, boo, screaming at you, telling you suck at everything. And then I saw the posters that say Argos, and then all of a sudden Pinball gets off the plane. Everyone's like, not you, Pinball, no, not you, Pinball. Then everybody else, you stink, you stink. But the excitement for the fans for this game, the community comes together. They celebrate their love of the Canadian Football League. They celebrate, in Hamilton anyways, their love of not the Toronto Argonauts. That's what I think is so special about this environment and this day.
Ryan Dinwiddie and Scott Milanovic, they certainly feel it as well. I straight up asked both of them going into the game this week, does it actually feel different for you guys, or is it just week 13 of 21? It's part of the grind. They both said, no, it's different. You know why? Because the fans make it different. The environment is different. It is charged up. Ball is on the tee. Toronto called heads. They won the coin toss. They said, we will take the football immediately, and they do that now. From inside their own 20-yard line, Jake Herslow on a bit of a heater with touchdowns in the last couple of games here, is wrapped up and brought down Tyler Ternowski. Local Hamiltonian makes the tackle on the play, and it will come the Toronto Argonauts offense led by Nick Arbuckle off a career-high passing day.
Last week it was his 5th straight 300-yard game. He's got 7 games this season. Now, 1-4 against Hamilton, all-time career, but he's playing some of the best football in the Canadian Football League, leading the CFL in passing yards, doing it with the deep ball. We talked about that. They've got the most deep ball passes in the Canadian Football League. He's stretching defenses, and they are throwing the football to win games.
Start of the second season. We'll see if the Argonauts can make a push to the playoffs. Right now, they begin through the air. Kevin Mittal, always a good place to go as he rolls his way across the 35-yard line. A big block down the field at the end of the play as the Argonauts starting offense includes Ryan Hunter at that right tackle spot.
Missed the last 6 games. He's back, gives him roster flexibility, having a national starting at your tackle. And speaking of the guy back, Makai Pope, 2024 East Division All-Star, 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns last season, fresh off a release of the Atlanta Falcons.
Hand it off inside here, and on second and short, looks like they'll get enough. They will move the sticks as Spencer Brown, the only running back dressed right now in this ballgame, who goes up against this Hamilton defense.
Philip Osei, 4th start, getting better each week. 1 sack versus the Riders. A lot of pressure. I've seen him as he plays. Kyler Fisher got an opportunity to play last week. 13 total tackles in his first start. And in the back end, some guys are coming back. Jamal Peters, Stavros Katsantonis, both return to help. Each has got 3 interceptions this season.
Arbuckle on 1st and 10, low snap, bobbled it for a second, then just looks to check it down underneath, and Brown makes the grab as Casey Sales looks to finish this one off. And in case you're wondering, for the Argonauts at running back, yes, it has been that kind of season when it comes to the running backs and health. It's the 2nd running back with the last name Brown that's played for them so far this year.
That's what I like about Nick Arbuckle here. It's a bad snap, and this is something you do with your quarterbacks. You kind of drill, taking snaps from all different spots. But as soon as that snap happens, he knows, okay, I know I have a check down. It's right in front of me. I don't care what the concept was. I don't care. I'm just going to make sure I don't end a negative yardage play. I'm going to end up with a 7-yard gain. So calm, collected, understanding the situation.
Devin Barazuk first to make contact, that time on Spencer Brown after a gain of 5 yards. 2nd and 5. Arbuckle stepping forward in the pocket and rips this one. Jake Herslow makes the grab before he's brought down 3 straight games with a touchdown and converts here.
Jake Herslow is going to be running what you call real simple curl. One of these 3 guys is going to go out in the flat. If the halfback expands, you throw inside to the curl. Real easy picture. Jake Herslow really come on the last couple of weeks. 2 huge touchdowns last week. Gets better and better every week. And somebody that Nick Arbuckle has really trusted since Monte Coates has been hurt.
They give the run fake inside, flip it out. Mackay Pope back in the CFL and back on the stat sheet here. There's maybe Ryan Dinwiddie trying to script something to just get Pope into the flow of the game back north of the border.
Yeah, quick throws underneath. You know, the Canadian Football League completion percentage, the all-time in league history, 69%. That's because of throws like this, Marshall. Really quick, get the ball in the hands of the playmakers as they come across from behind the line of scrimmage to make plays.
Pope, 1,000-yard receiver. Last year, 5 touchdowns, and would love to reach the end zone here after what many in the Argonauts say was a tremendous week of practice for him. Arbuckle staring down 2nd and 7, steps forward and comes back to that curl once again. And it's Dejon Brissett that gets there just before Stavros Katsantonis can beat him to the spot.
Very similar concept from earlier. You're going to have a curl route. You're going to have one of these guys in the flat. But Stavros Katsantonis almost gets there and is able to make the play. So as he worked for width, that little bit of width he expanded on his curl, got him away from Stavros. Nick throws the ball on time for another big first down.
4 games last week, averaging 777 net yards. And the leader was this Toronto Argonauts offense with 529. They're moving the rock here early on. Handoff inside, Spencer Brown. That's a nice little piece on first down, pounding it up inside. Is once again that defensive line for the Tiger Cats trying to battle their way back against the blocking scheme.
Spencer Brown last week, 19 carries, 85 yards. You know, he really performed well late in the game when they're trying to run the clock out for the BC Lions. He was somebody I expect Ryan Dinwiddie to give some opportunities to run the football today.
Go quickly to the line of scrimmage here, and over the top it is Arbuckle, and just hanging along that sideline is the former Hamilton Tiger Cat. Probably identify more with him now as an Argonaut. Dave Unker III makes the grab.
When you play zone coverage, there's always space that's open. So all these receivers, but the corner's going to go deep. Okay, you have a low halfback, but there's always a space at times. You see the corner running in, that's what you call a trap defense. Nick recognizes immediately, says you're going to avoid that area of the field. I have a receiver there. I'm going to throw it outside to David Unger.
Well, Levi Mitchell said there is no quarterback who prepares as well as Nick Arbuckle. He saw it on that play as he diagnosed it. Now he looks to get it out of his hands quickly. Into the flats he goes, and trying to get around the edge is Kevin Mental, pushing it bounce. Jonathan Moxley right there with Destin Talbert as well. 2nd down Argonauts.
A really good stop on defense. You know, the hardest part of these screen passes is the ball's out of the quarterback's hands quickly. Destin Talbert recognizes it. The defense is trying to run, bring people back. You see Moxie right there. Good stop by that defense. Created negative yardage play on the quick screen to Mattel.
10th play of the drive, opening things up here in the Labor Day Classic for Nick Arbuckle and the Argonauts offense. He's 7 of 7, 60 yards so far. As Nick looks to his right, now Pump steps up in the butt. He'll shovel it underneath, and Spencer Brown guides his way inside the 10-yard line. The Argonauts' successful opening drive will stop there as Liram Hairolahu and the field goal unit come off the sideline.
A lot of different pictures. You can see man coverage right here. These two are man coverage. Everybody else is going to be in a man coverage situation. Nick didn't like the throws downfield, so he starts to scramble. As he scrambles, you see Verisek there. It's like Verisek's in a difficult spot. He can't take both because they had no one assigned to Nick, but was able to make the tackle. Good stop here. Push these guys, preventing opportunity for a touchdown.
Last time Liram Hairolahu missed a field goal was August 9th against Ottawa. It has been a while. This one, easy mode for another former Hamilton Tiger Cat as the rivalry renewed here and fueled up by that man, Levi Mitchell. Talking a little bit, the first matchup of the year when he had 5 touchdowns against the double blue defense. We'll see what he has for the encore when we return back to Hamilton Stadium for the Labor Day Classic. 22 degrees, gusts up to 20 kilometers an hour here, but it is a perfect day, and this man is perfect on Labor Day. 6-0 with the Calgary Stampeders against Edmonton, and his first victory for Hamilton last year. Levi Mitchell at the controls as he rips it downfield. Tim White had 2 touchdowns in this matchup last year and picks up right where he left off in the Classic.
Trusting Tim White on the outside. You get a lot of one-on-ones on the outside. Just easy drop back for him to take that throw to the outside. Tim White was last year 180 yards, 2 touchdowns in this Labor Day Classic last year, including a 70-yard touchdown. Good start getting Tim White involved early.
More importantly, maybe early on going after Delonte Hood as well as the back end of the Argonauts mixing and matching. The double tight end set is in here for Hamilton. On first down, Bo looks down the middle of the field and a diving grab is made by Keandre Smith.
Plays like this take some time, a little bit of motion. One goes vertical to clear out. Keandre Smith comes underneath. This is what you call a scissors route, where I'm going to clear out with a first receiver, and then the second receiver is going to show underneath. Smith lays out for the spectacular catch. That's what you got to make plays on Labor Day. Keandre Smith coming up big for his quarterback.
Hamilton fans soaking that one up. 26,000 strong, packed in to the building here and ready to erupt should they reach the end zone early on, as this one's sloppy from start to finish.
Time count violation. Hamilton, number 19. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
You can see Bo trying to get that ball snapped, and he saw the clock running, trying to get that snap. So difficult penalty to get that time count.
Maybe the rest of that Hamilton offense admiring Keandre Smith's work a little bit extra long on the jumbotrons. The replay came up, but Levi Mitchell getting things settled back down. Kenny Lawler and Tim White for now at the bottom of your screen. That's where they'll go on the snap. Mitchell looks that direction, flips it out into the flats. Greg Bell tries to make the first man miss, and he cannot. Brought down Benji Franklin. Tremendous play as the Tiger Cats starting offense leading the Canadian Football League in scoring.
Liam Dobson, his first Labor Day with the Ticats, prize free agent lineman, brought physicality offensive line. Kenny Lawler, first in the CFL with 8 touchdowns, tied for first with 30-plus catches. Will he be unleashed today? Looking forward to seeing that.
Argonauts defense third in the CFL with 24 sacks coming into this ball game. We'll see what they can dial up here to try and get a little bit of pressure against Bo Levi Mitchell. On second and long, it's a low snap, and Bo, with plenty of pressure on, just has to throw this one towards the sideline. And mercifully, it wanders away from Cameron Judge, who couldn't get there in time along that sideline, but Bo in all sorts of a mess. So after the field goal drive for Toronto, Hamilton's drive ends with a variety of errors.
This is obviously heads up. So there's been a couple bad locations here. Bo immediately just takes the ball, understands situational football, and just throws it to the sideline so they don't lose any yardage on this field goal attempt. So heads up play here to help Mark Leggio make this kick. You see Bo's not happy with the snaps to start the Labor Day.
You could see that Bo was saying, Woody, he's trying to talk to Coulter Woodmansey there, his center, and communicate with him. Is a little bit shaky at the end of the drive, but Mark Leggio steady as ever. The Western Mustang grad knocks it through. A pair of Mustangs in the kicking department here today, and they both have triples on the board at this point. Nick Arbuckle, season high, career high, 443 yards last week. We'll see what he has when we return. Know each other well from their time in Calgary. Hey, the QB, is it for Bo? Is that what that is in between these two teams? But no, it is Toronto and Hamilton, of course, the QEW rivalry, and there is Nick Arbuckle up against Bo Levi Mitchell. You got the reigning Grey Cup MVP, and Arbuckle, of course, the celebrations flowing last year after just getting that opportunity at the end of the season. And, well, Mitchell, what can we say about him, Lappa, when it comes to Labor Day Classics?
Got 7-0. He obviously six wins for the Calgary Stampeders. Last year was his first win in this game. Shows why he's a Hall of Famer. And both these guys doing it with no run game, which is pretty impressive.
Dominant last year for Mitchell in his first chance at the black and gold as Arbuckle rolling to his right, gets it away just before he is hit. Stavros Katsatonis looks as healthy as he's been all year as Philip Osaike chased that time on Arbuckle.
And that's what we want to talk about as we roll this clip. Like, this is a fake run play, and then they're going to continue to go on. The Argonauts are last in the Canadian Football League running the football. They're only 54 yards rushing, Marshall. And, you know, they're facing Hamilton's not a very good team against the run. Same thing with the Ticats facing their worst run defense. But both teams have high-performing quarterbacks, so it's very hard to say I'm going to run the football and, you know, not put the ball in these really good quarterbacks.
Second and 10, they'll have to look to the air here as Arbuckle works the pocket. Looking around, really nobody free. Now David Unger is in the middle of the field trying to jam it in. Stavros Katsatonis got there early, flying over the top, as Arbuckle only had one option, and it was 83, but Stavros bails them out.
Pass interference, Hamilton, number 30. It's automatic first down.
Stavros a little bit hot early, makes contact into the back on this. So as Nick sees this, and this is what I'm talking about, obviously a second and long situation. You have a three-man rush. You have 12 people dropping out. Nick can't find anybody. Sooner or later, things will break down. Nick can find that throw outside. Stavros just a little bit too early. You can see that movement and making the hit a little too early.
Classic having a TSN analyst from last Friday who goes ahead and takes a flag, you know? Like everybody else back in studio. Snap comes up. Arbuckle flips it out. It is complete. Spencer Brown, the rallying defense of the Tiger Cats right there. Identity of this franchise for so long, all about hard-hitting defense, and of course on Labor Day Classics, plenty of history with that. There's Reggie Stubblefield making the big play.
Little screen pass, trying to just get the ball in space out to Spencer Brown. Get him an opportunity. Like we talked about, this is part of their run game. Everybody's blocking downfield. Get him the ball in space, let him run with it. Doesn't force your offensive line to make blocks. It makes the blocking happen out at the receiver position. So this is some of the Argonauts run game.
Canadian three-pack at the bottom of your screen is going underneath again. Spencer Brown makes the grab, short of the first down marker. A flag is up, as well as AC Sales standing in the background making the call for the officials. He believes it's holding against the Argonauts.
And what's fun for, I think, Brent Munson, defensive coordinator for the Ticats, is knowing that this is going to be a throw the football game. How many opportunities? I've seen so many different coverages early on. Trying to slow down that Arbuckle.
Toronto number 61, 10-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Goes against Brandon Kemp, the left tackle.
You watch Brandon Kemp right here. I believe he draws the hold. Okay, starts blocking inside. Sees the guard fan out. He's late to his what's called a fan call, where he works out, garners the hold. And like I started talking about, Brent Munson has so many different coverages early in this first quarter because of how many different pictures he's trying to show talented quarterback.
Second and Stony Creek from here for Nick Arbuckle as he'll go underneath, tries to check it down, and it bounces off the hands of Spencer Brown. The first incompletion for Arbuckle in this Labor Day Classic.
That's pretty impressive. Second and Stony Creek. I like that. That's
directionally correct as well.
There.
Yeah, I can see Stony Creek right here.
This is what second and extra 18. You don't have a lot on your call sheet, so you're going to look for a shot and then check it downfield, prevent anything happening. You want to finish the drive with a kick, so a punt here, live to play another down.
Don Haggerty comes out to boot this one away. League leading 50.8 average. The net punting not so great for the Argonauts, as they need their coverage team to step up in a big way here today. There's plenty of poor Canadian special teamers that have been getting the job done, but Haggerty always has the leg as he fires this one down inside the 10-yard line. And a 54-yard punt this time, wrapped up by Jonathan Edward at the end of the play, and Isaac D'Arcangelo down there as well. As Labor Day Classic history and lore surrounds all who made their way down to Hamilton Stadium here today in a 3-3 tie.
Look out. And this is early on. This is just, 5 minutes into the football game, and I guarantee we're going to have some ejections right now. Welcome to Labor Day at Ivor Wynn.
Why don't you change it?
Well, I don't think there's anybody better to talk over that one than Chris Walby, considering how many battles he was in the trenches over the years. But there are plenty of big moments like that.
I was in that game, right? I punched pinball in the face. I set the tone. No, nobody. You could never punch pinball in the face, but I was coaching the Ticats in that tie, the only tie in history of the Labor Day Classic.
Unbelievable. Is this one the 54th edition? It rolls on here with the Hamilton Tiger Cats getting their second touch of the ball game, and the Argonauts defense stacks up Greg Bell early on.
Andrew Chatfield, second in the CFL with 7 sacks. Expect him to have answers to help and attack the Ticats offensive line. Cameron Judge, 60 defensive plays, placed him 3rd in the CFL, has been amazing. Tyshawn Blackburn gets the start at free safety, 14 defensive tackles, 1 interception. Derek Sluka got an injury they're trying to get fixed.
Moving around the back end of that Argonauts defense as they send pressure this time right up the middle. Mitchell hit as he throws and incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tim White, but a 2 and out here for Hamilton, backed up in their own end. A big defensive possession for the Argonauts to be able to flip field position.
Pressure from the outside as Bo's trying to get this little bit longer developing route on the outside. We'll see pressure coming across as they start to move back inside. He's got to throw this. This is an in and back out, but a little bit of a twist forces Aaron Casey to get the opportunity to go inside, right? Wraps around one of his own defensive linemen to create the space to get in to make the hit on them.
Aaron Casey, impressive since he's gotten to the lineup. 4 sacks, second on Toronto behind Andrew Chatfield Jr. Almost had one there. Mitchell just got it away as Nick Constantino knocks this one down the field. It's caught by Janarian Grant inside his own 40-yard line. After a 57-yard punt, Janarian Grant brings it back into Hamilton territory. And sitting pretty right now is Nick Arbuckle and the Argonauts offense. Arbuckle on his second career Labor Day Classic start, and he will love all the energy Janarian Grant will give him here this afternoon with short fields like this when we return. Welcome back to Hamilton. There's a guy who understands all about the Labor Day Classic. With more, let's head down to Matthew Shinetti.
Well, Marsh, the fact is, Brent Munson grew up in Hamilton. He went to St. Thomas More High School, not too far away. And we talked about that historic, if collector's item, 30-30 tie in the 04 Labor Day Classic. Well, Brent Munson was actually at Old Ivor Wynn when it happened, and he spoke about this day being a sense of civic duty for the entire city of Hamilton. Now, many have asked him, since he's come back to his hometown for being the defensive coordinator of the Calgary Stampeders, if he's calling games any differently. And Munson, who's so detail-oriented, said, no, absolutely not. But when it comes to today and the fact that Brent Munson has 25 of his family and friends here in attendance at Hamilton Stadium, he said, the one thing I do feel on a day like today is a sense of responsibility. Marshall.
Yeah, he absolutely knows, Matthew, that this game means everything to the area. 25 tickets, and was almost the Argonauts defensive coordinator this offseason. Couldn't get the contract finalized and made his way down the QEW here. Could have easily been on the other side on this Labor Day Classic. He is in black and gold as his defense will try to track down Spencer Brown right now. Inside the 30, and a flag comes out for a late hit out of bounds as well.
This is what Nick Arbuckle is doing that creates these great opportunities downfield. Everybody got sucked up with a play action. Everybody's hanging inside. Spencer Brown.
Big foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, an extra 15 yards, an automatic first down.
So Nick's trying to get a little bit of a play action.
Penalties on
and then as that play action happens, he's looking, can't find everybody because everybody inside with the play action throws it outside to Spencer Brown. Just too much space. You can see the late hit right there.
That's the former Argonaut, Jamal Peters, that was the one who popped Brown out of bounds.
Back after one game off with an injury, Jamal Peters.
Plenty of his former teammates from Toronto had a little conversation with Peters as he walks back into the Hamilton defensive huddle. As blitz coming this time to the left of Arbuckle, he'll throw right into it. Jake Herslow tries to dig his way underneath. The tackle attempt that came from number 43, who again has been on a tremendous little rip the last couple of games. Kyler Fisher for the Tiger Cats.
This is, you want to play quarterback in the Canadian football, you got to see a lot of things. Jamal Peters here, they're going to send the boundary corner. This is what's called a whale. The boundary corner and the will linebacker. Nick's got to see that his receiver outflanked and put the ball in the hands of the receiver. So trying to show a lot of different pictures. Nick Arbuckle seeing the field very well.
How about Brent Munson sensing that Peters might be playing fast and angry after taking that penalty? As Arbuckle now lofts this one up into the end zone, up for grabs, and it's caught for the touchdown. Dejon Brissett with a flag down in the backfield. And Brissett doesn't know it yet. Our referee is Tim Croker, sorting through it.
51, Toronto. 10-yard penalty, just like that.
And the points come off the board.
John Boss will take that holding call here. See it at the right guard. You can watch the right guard here. Just at the end as he gets beat on the inside. Negates this great catch here by Dejon Brissett. Dejon Brissett coming off last week, first 100-yard game of his career. Had an outstanding game last week. 3 catches, 118 yards. That was a great catch. Brought his hands up late to make that. Difficult penalty to take.
I'm not sure there's anything Dejon Brissett wouldn't laugh off if he does here, having the touchdown taken away. As this time Arbuckle bouncing around the pocket, somehow escapes the rush and will use his legs as he slides down on 2nd and long. He wasn't going to be able to pick up the first down with all the coverage there. But yeah, Arbuckle actually coming into this one in terms of rushing attempts, 35 on the season, just 2 shy of Deontay McMahon for the team lead. That's how many different running backs they've had.
I look at you because is that a slide down or is that a fall down? That's a fall down.
That's a little bit
He stepped on himself a little bit there. I'm not sure he would have gotten the first down yardage or not, but good stop once again by the Ticats. Difficult penalty, taking 7 points off the board on the holding call by the right guard, John Boss.
We were just looking at the start of this block of all the crazy rivalry and the anger and the fight back in 04 and the tie and the little pat on the back that time from a Tiger Cats defender saying, it's okay, Nick. You'll get back on your feet. We'll see you the next drive. But that's the end of the first quarter. At the end of last year's first quarter, it was 21-3 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This time, Toronto leads 6-3 here at Hamilton Stadium. Two highest scoring teams in the Canadian Football League coming into this OK Tire Labor Day weekend, and well, it's just 6-3 right now, but so many stories that go with a matchup like this, and obviously the intensity will ratchet up as this game continues to go on, Paul Appelese. But what are some thoughts you have on the history of this game?
I think in the old stadium, at one point used to be in dugouts, and the coaches be in dugouts. I remember talking to Kerwin Bell before, a series, and the fans are literally right on top of you, and they can hear every conversation. So we'd have this one fan yell, "That play's not going to work. What are you guys trying to do?" No. And then Kerwin throws an interception. We walk back. That fan goes, "I told you Kerwin is going to be a pick." So just amazing how the fans, they used to throw batteries at the players. It was just the energy of this building on Labor Day is awesome. And I heard today from the Ticats, biggest sellout they've ever had, 26,000 people here.
Tremendous. And waiting to erupt again if this offense can get things rolling the way they have this year is Bo Levi Mitchell with a wide open receiver. It's Keandre Smith. Gain of 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And Keandre Smith, yards after the catch. They opened up the second quarter with an explosive play. They were lacking that in the first.
Little bit of a bootlegger showing a run look. You're going to block down, but you're going to sprint somebody behind the line of scrimmage across. Fake outside zone to the boundary, and then hope the receiver comes out the back door with nobody there. They blitzed off the edge. Toronto's defense gives Keandre Smith tons of space and time to run across the field.
Bo Levi Mitchell, 47 passing yards in the first quarter. He had 46 on that play right there. Much of it coming from Keandre Smith's legs as they'll hand it off inside. Greg Bell bouncing off a couple tacklers. And right in the middle of the fray, as always, is Cameron Judge.
Take a look. You can see Keandre getting a sprinter stance coming all the way across the field, and then you just see there's nobody on that side of the defense. Once you blitz on that side of the field, it's going to be a long time before the secondary can adjust. So nice game playing by Scott Milanovic and their coaching staff. Get Keandre Smith the ball in space for the run.
Just 2 grabs, but 77 yards already for Keandre Smith here. He'll line up for a moment in the backfield, and then Mitchell looks out into the boundary. There's Kenny Lawler, had himself a day earlier this season against the Toronto Argonauts and got a rousing ovation as well when he was announced coming out of the tunnel at the intros for this game.
Very, very smart here by Kenny Lawler. Wide receiver screens, do a lot of motion, send 3 people into the boundary and have 2 people block for Kenny Lawler to give him a quick catch. As he gets out here, watch what he does. He starts inside, then he bounces it outside. That's what you want to do. You want to run outside and make him cover the width of the field, get the yardage needs. Should force this 3rd and short situation for the Ticats. Get their quarterback sneak game ready and go.
Mass substitutions as you'd expect on both sides. Short yardage, playing a huge role in the Canadian Football League as always, converting on 87% so far this year. Our all CFL clubs, only 18 times short yardage has not worked when quarterback sneaks go forward. They'll actually reverse pivot here and just run it outside, and Greg Bell puts his head down and gets the yardage required for a Tiger Cats first down.
A lot of motion there by Scott Milanovic, running extra people on. Having other guys try to get extra plays. You can see, you're going to see big number 50 coming in. Watch that. That's a great shot coming in, making the play, getting shots downfield to be able to take a shot inside, run the ball up in the inside.
Jacob Zott running in motion that time.
Big Zott.
Yep, Master Marauder grad playing here locally. As now it's Mitchell just thinking otherwise, flips this one away and lives for 2nd and 10.
And that's the interesting thing I heard Milt talk about on a panel as you see this ball thrown away. Is Milt talked about, he expects both teams, they don't run the ball very well. They don't try to run the ball, so keep throwing the football. But you've got 2 defenses that are, Toronto Argonauts last in the CFL against the run. So do you try to get some big run plays? Do you try to change it up? The hard part of when you run the ball so much on first down, you talented quarterbacks just aren't touching it, Marshall. That's the hard part.
Absolutely, as they whistle this one dead for a moment, reset. Mitchell staring down a 3-point deficit right now. Hamilton's last 2 games decided by 3 points. He would love to get the crowd into this ball game. Not just a packed house, but also a highly educated football IQ crowd as well. Very quiet while the Tiger Cats are working offensively. As Mitchell looks to his right and rips this one. Tim White catches it shy of the marker. And Benji Franklin for the 2nd time already in this ball game. A great open field tackle.
Trying to get Tim White out of the backfield. You'll see him out and then back underneath. You'll see Kenny Lawler go high. This is a high-low of the defense as everybody lifts. We're trying to get Kenny Lawler on a double move on the inside. If the double move is covered, you should throw underneath to Tim White. Good tackle by Benji Franklin right there to create the stop.
A savvy playmaker, Whit McManus, not fooled by the double move. Kenny Lawler that time, he ran right underneath it, was wagging his finger, shaking his head. He's seen it all in his time in the league as Mark Leggio looks to knot this game up at 6. And he will do just that. The Tiger Cats coming off a bye have won their last 4 games coming off of a bye. 4-0 against the East so far this year, and a season sweep last year of the Toronto Argonauts. Hamilton won 51-38 earlier on this year and looking to get a Labor Day Classic victory here today. Toronto Argonauts win against the BC Lions last week, broke an 8-game West winning streak in interdivisional matchups, and a big part of it was Dejon Brissett, and always has a positive mindset. For more, down to Matthew Shinetti.
And it was also a big day for him too, Marsh. His first 100-yard game as a professional football player, and as much as Dejon Brissett has 2 Grey Cup rings and was the most valuable Canadian during last year's Grey Cup, he talked about what those personal accomplishments mean to him. It gives him a sense of purpose because he's on his way right now and could break his current career high in receiving yards at 594. He is looking at 1,000 yards for the first time in his career as something that's really important to him. And as much as he has emerged as a leader, that perspective you talk about has been clear. He talked about things happening when they're supposed to. He almost had a touchdown there early on, but he said today it just feels like the stage for him to have another big game, Marshall.
Yeah, 2nd overall pick Hard to believe he's been so patient at this point in his career, but it is starting to come his way. My favorite number as well on Bijan Brissett, what he's done the last 4 weeks, every single week he's had more receiving yards, 38 yards, then 89, then 96, then 118 last week. So he is growing into his role in this Argonauts offense.
And I really like when he talked about in the interviews, he talked about, hey, listen, I want things to happen. They just weren't ready to happen for me yet. Now, if I'm prepared, the opportunities are coming, I'm making my plays.
See if they look his direction here. 6-6. Relatively low scoring so far. This game has averaged 60 points combined since 2016. As now the snap comes up after whistles. And I think the Hamilton crowd might have got that one.
Number 4. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
As we know, when you get a time count penalty in the stadium, we're going to hear it again.
A little bit of positive momentum from the packed house. They can feel their influence on the football game as Nick Arbuckle trying to operate at the line of scrimmage. 4 receivers to his right, and Arbuckle looks to the ISO'd receiver, incomplete. Jake Herschel one-on-one against Jamal Peters. What a battle.
Jamal Peters tracks really well. Gets his long hand in there. So you've got to have patience as a defensive back when Jake Herschel's running up on you, running vertically to change direction, come down and make a play on that curl back to the quarterback, and he gets his hand in there. Great play by Jamal Peters, trusting his ability, change direction, and make the play.
First 2 and out for the Argonauts offense. Unfortunately for them, they lead the Canadian Football League at 37% of the time going 2 and out, and Hamilton's return game was all the way back. And after a 71-yard punt from John Haggerty, it rolls into the end zone. And it will be a 7-6 advantage for the Argonauts, but the Hamilton defense with the former Argo, Jamal Peters, making the play.
Welcome to the Labor Day Classic. It's back in Hamilton for the last time at Ivor Wynn, and of course the marquee names. The hold, the kick, it is up, it is through.
Hank, Ricky, Swayze Waters, why not? Trevor Harris holding right there. Scott Milanovic on the other side of this Labor Day Classic matchup. Plenty of history.
Young, a beardless Mike O'Shea over there in the corner.
Yeah, lots of twists and turns in this rivalry throughout the years. Winning streaks on the line, as well as Mitchell. Play action that tries to set up a screen, and right there on the spot, it is Cameron Judge, 4th in the Canadian Football League in total tackles, behind a list of names that you know all too well.
Great recognition by Cameron Judge, because there's going to be a lot of distractions going on here. So they're going to fake a zone play. Then they're going to fake that's coming back, but then it's a screen pass back to the running back. Sometimes you don't want a screen pass to a guy who's really good, Marshall. Sometimes I'd be like, I'm not going to screen over to Cameron Judge's side. Great recognition by Judge.
Anywhere but Judge. You got to be thinking, if you're Hamilton at this point, is Hamilton 0 of 4 on second down conversions. They'll have to earn it the hard way here, checking down underneath, and right on cue after he gets a tackle for loss. Another tackle for Cameron Judge. The only statistical category that he hasn't filled yet this season is a fumble recovery. He's done at least one of everything else.
Just shows what's so important about the weak side linebacker position, having the ability to run up and make tackles in space. That's difficult to do. Greg Bell's a talented running back. He makes the tackle to prevent, only 1 more yard and you're going for a quarterback sneak, or a 1.5 yards. Right. So good tackle on the open end side for the dynamic Will linebacker.
Judge behind only Micah Awe, Tony Jones from Winnipeg, and a Darius Piggott, the party starter in Ottawa when it comes to total tackles so far this season. All very elite names, and Judge is in that company, as very close to getting blocked on the punt. And who was it? It was Cameron Judge that tried to fill out the stat sheet with a blocked kick. And a 42-yard punt collected by the Argonauts. A shake of the head, and the Argonauts are swimming right now with Cameron Judge rowing the boat, and he's trying to do a little bit of everything for them as he was this close to Nick Constantine. Oh, almost off the tape on the fingertips.
You can see their safe punt team. They have their defense out there, and he gets an opportunity to go make a block. Almost made it.
He knows how close he was to making another game-changing play. The Toronto offense begins from their own end of the field. Play action, then flip it out. Spencer Brown with some room in front of him. Came into the ball game with 3 catches, and they already got a couple here tonight. That one will go for an Argonauts first down at a gain of 14.
Here's the point I want to make. So there's all the time you talk as an offensive play caller and you go through things and you say, geez, you know, hey, play action, these guys don't run the football. Like, these guys don't run the football. And everybody's doing play action passes and everybody's dropping into their zones like, you know, they're coming up for some of the run plays. So I always used to say the term, play action's play action. People, they don't forget the stats when the game happens because both these teams are only faking to the back so they can throw the football.
Ryan Dinwiddie watches on as he dials up an inside run for Spencer Brown, who breaks through the first, now the second, and the third level of the Hamilton Tiger Cats defense, churning the legs and refusing to be stopped. Looks like Julian Hauser had to come all the way back from his defensive end position to make the tackle, but a monster gain.
Great balance by Spencer Brown as he comes into the inside. He's going to just take this quick zone play. And this is interesting. Last week, I thought at the end of the game, he really ran the clock out on the BC Lions. He was able to make some big plays. This is a guy, Ryan Dinwiddie likes to run the football. Scott Milanovic talked about it in his press conference, like, hey, these guys aren't afraid to run the football. They've just been struggling at running it. They got Ryan Hunter back, so I would be expecting that the possibility Ryan gives opportunities to Spencer Brown, his new toy.
The young CFL career of Spencer Brown, he gets a new career high running gain of 27, and he'll tag on more all-purpose yardage here, once again slipping out of the backfield. And it's obvious that Ryan Dinwiddie has seen something in the Hamilton defense of Brent Munson. He thinks he can get the ball out quick.
When everybody stays in here and the back outflanks the defense, you throw the ball for the outflank. You can see Spencer Brown goes out. See how quickly the decision is made. You're going to cover inside. I'm throwing outside. So once again, another first down on first down. And that's what this Argonauts team's done a good job. Some people, hey, they don't run the football. They don't do. I'm telling you, they get yardage on first down. Last week, 372 yards on first down, Marshall.
Kevin Mittal, essentially the backup running back here this afternoon in the Labor Day Classic. He stands there now and then releases his Arbuckle. Almost hit as he throws into the end zone, and the heater continues. He's on fire. Jake Herslow into the end zone, and Toronto extends their lead.
These guys are really, Herslow, another touchdown after last week's 2-touchdown performance. Nick's going to feel a lot of pressure, but he understands right where to go with the football automatically. He sees man coverage. He gets the ball, and we'll talk about this after. He gets Talbert in a switch decision. They're going to run a corner route and run away from Talbert. Very difficult to cover. Great throw by Nick, but Talbert just in a bad position because of the concept.
Spencer Brown, Spencer Brown, Spencer Brown, Jake Herslow. 4 plays, 83 yards in 2 minutes and 4 seconds as Liram Hairolahu looks to tag on the point after. And Toronto holding strong. 3-8 so far on the season. Hamilton went through a 6-game winning streak and lost their last 2. The big throw by Nick Arbuckle, and Jake Herslow can't be stopped since coming off the practice roster.
Jake Herslow gets the touchdown on the downfield shot on the corner route. Going to draw this up. Love this concept. You're going to run a corner route to the back of the end zone. You're going to try to do a little bit of motion to create a switch. And what that means is man players switch who they're covering. Okay, we're going to pause it right here, though, guys. What happened is they did not switch it, so they locked it, but Destin Talbert gets pushed too far inside. Now he's in a bad position to cover the corner route. High angle, Nick sees it automatically, throws it. So Jake Herslow makes a great move, bounces back outside of Destin Talbert. Difficult to cover the corner route into the back of the end zone.
Talk more about the connection of Arbuckle and Herslow as this game carries on, as this one is absolutely bombed over the head of Kavian White. And the Toronto Argonauts taking some of the energy, some of the life out of this building. But Jake Herslow has been on fire as of late.
Remember this couple weeks ago? He hurdled a player for the Red Blacks. Gets this beautiful touchdown with contact against the Elks. And here's a couple of plays from last week. Big play action for the touchdown versus the BC Lions. Also had another touchdown in that football game. And here we go, touchdown this week on the big play.
Every time you look up, 87's in the end zone with the ball in his hands over the last month or so of the CFL. His inside run here for Greg Bell and the Tiger Cats offense. But Toronto being able to really control the temperament of the ball game so
we
far.
forgot one Jake Herslow clip. Let's play this one. This is an awesome clip. Okay, take a look at this one. Oh my God, look at this film right here.
7 years old.
There he is on the reverse. Oh, there it is. That's where the hurdle came from. I would have offered him a scholarship off of that clip right there.
Got those gangly deer legs early on in the Jake Herslow
Crazy legs.
career trajectory, but jumping over people, jumping into the end zone, he's done a little bit of it all. As Bo Levi Mitchell with pressure on, and down he goes. There's a flag up as well, and another flag comes in from the back. So plenty of laundry to clean up here as we follow week 12 of the CFL that had the fewest flags thrown so far of any week in the CFL season.
It'll be interesting here. It looks like Derek Parrish actually landed. He went in, he hit Bo Levi Mitchell low. You know, we'll have to evaluate whether he was thrown into that spot. But if you see at the bottom of the line here, he ends up going low on Bo. When Bo's in the pocket and his feet are set, you cannot go low on him. So we're going to decide whether that's a penalty or not. The command center, a flag was thrown. We'll see what that penalty is called. I assume that's what they were trying to call, that it was a low hit on the quarterback.
I wonder if it's a tripping call as
There could
well.
be a tripping call.
Yeah.
We saw also a possibility of a clipping. Now the replay center, I think I said a command center in there. The replay center is going to look at this and fix this.
Ryan Dinwiddie walks down to the Hamilton 50-yard line to try and get the attention of the officials and talk things through.
Okay, we have a holding call.
And Tim Croker works through communication with the replay center, and Scott Milanovic watches on here at Hamilton Stadium.
Okay, we're trying to see where this holding call is.
Holding, Hamilton number 53, tripping, Toronto number 97, 10-yard misconduct penalty, Hamilton number 64. The difference is 10 yards, still second down.
Oh, the trifecta of flags on a
That's a
single
lot of
snap.
penalties in play. Tripping.
And after all of that,
Finish with a 2nd and 15 here.
yeah. The 6-4 Tiger Cats still backed up and trying to figure out how to get into rhythm at this point in the ball game.
And you know, Toronto plays a lot of zone coverage. That's hard sometimes for quarterbacks. Bo Levi's trying to find, that's what's allowing this pass rush to get home. So much zone coverage from the Argos.
26,000 watching on and hoping that both create some magic as he throws this one back shoulder. Shamar Bridges, and it's incomplete. Cameron Judge right there once again, congratulated by Winton McManus, as those two have been a terror when healthy so far this year.
Argos just rushing 4 players, just trying to create good passing lanes. So make sure they're there for Bo to keep him in the pocket. Have 8 guys dropping in coverage, knowing it's 2nd and long yardage. Just rally up and make tackles. So defense is holding up, preventing the big plays from this Tiger Cats offense.
15-6. Toronto advantage at this point. Close rushing the punter on the last punting attempt. This time it gets away clean as Janarian Grant hauls it in, crosses the 30, and Janarian Grant, always dangerous, cuts back, makes a man miss, flags are down. Looks like Brian Cole II hopped onto the back of Janarian Grant to bring him down at the end of the play. They'll have to clean up another penalty flag.
Last time these two teams played, Janarian Grant
During the
had
turn, holding Toronto. It's 10-yard penalty, first down, Toronto.
Janarian Grant was half of the $1 million kick. He had one touchdown. Right? Isaiah Wooden had a touchdown. Best thing about Janarian Grant, north, physicality, gets upfield. He's so quick. And he breaks tackles. He's got the ability to keep breaking tackles. Make the first guy miss, then you're going to get big yardage. Nice return, Janarian Grant. Rutgers alum, Scarlet Knight.
Continues to ply his trade here in the Canadian Football League. Want to get him as many opportunities in the return game as possible, Ryan. What he told us this week as Arbuckle throws the slant underneath. The catch made up a high post before he gets thrown back. Stavros Katsantonis active as ever coming down from his free safety spot.
A little bit of a money play. You're going to fake this. Quarterback's going to keep it. You have one go deep and one's underneath. And he just goes underneath, and I'm going to run an option route. I'll play wherever the other player is. The inside guy goes high. I'm going to run in on the outside guy. The inside guy was low. I'm going to run out. Plays money all the time. That's why they call it money, because it's always open if you trust your receiver.
Down here is a block on the end of the line of scrimmage, and Nick Arbuckle looking down the field, almost intercepted. It rolls incomplete, and I think perhaps the former Hamilton Tiger Cat Felix Gauthier might get flagged here for crackback, or down the line of scrimmage he came. Blew up the defensive end. See if that's the call. Came from way back in the Hamilton secondary.
So part of the protection of Canadian Football League players, the league every year looks at rules and everything. This is a rule that's
Crackback, Toronto number 38. It's a 15-yard penalty. It's third down.
So this is what's going to happen here. So you're allowed to go ahead and make contact. And as you come down to this spot, you can make contact. You're not allowed to give a kill shot. So and this is a hard thing to teach players. This happened a couple of years ago, that you're not allowed to come in and deliver a shot with an element of force. This is something when I was a head coach, we got rid of out of our system. It was too hard to teach your players, okay, what is force, what isn't. So you can't run full speed in and crack on a defensive end because he can't see you coming in. That's a change a couple of years ago. So an illegal crackback block.
Yeah, it seems as though it has, for the most part, been coached out of the game. But the 2018 Vanier Cup champion out of Mirabel, Quebec, that time, Gauthier, has this one go against him, and now it's a block punt in the end zone, and it's recovered by the rookie. He had a pick six earlier this year, and Devin Verisuck has a block punt touchdown for the Tiger Cats on Labor Day.
Huge touchdown. Get momentum, get your crowd back into the football game. Coming off the edge, blitzing off the wide side of the field to come make the play. I believe that's Tyler.
Wow, Turnowski.
Blitzing off the wide side, he comes in late, times it up perfectly, lays out, makes the play. Excellent block.
Hamilton goes on to victory here in 2025. That'll be one of the marquee plays that you remember for a long time. The local Hamiltonian, Tyler Turnowski, making so many impact plays on special teams so far this season. And Devin Verisuck quickly becoming an icon in the Hammer for his ability to be on the right end of big plays like this as Hamilton narrows the gap with the rookie in the end zone.
Well, we had our entire halftime planned out, but that's going down the drain. Thanks a lot, Tyler Turnowski. Why do we even plan in the CFL?
Can't.
You know?
Can't.
Also, we're going to tee up the Battle of Alberta. Ches, did you just run onto set?
What are we talking about?
Ah, don't worry about it.
There's a game going on. You know that, right?
There he is, Tyler Turnowski, ready to go back to work on special teams. His targets few and far between, but flying in off the edge, and Maybe a little bit of love in the air here in Hamilton. We'll get to that maybe in just a second. Lapo is the special teams on the sideline for the Tiger Cats. Extremely happy during the break as Mark Leggio gets ready to send this one away. See Dennis McKnight, special teams coordinator. The ball stays on the tee with a little bit of swirling wind as usual. At Hamilton Stadium, a flag comes up as well where the Tiger Cats offside, and Jake Herslow had the touchdown, fighting his way right through the middle of the return defense. But a big block here for Tyler Turnowski. A game-changing play as the offense for the Tiger Cats struggling.
One of the best things to see here is how quickly he times up. He understood what the cadence was. He jumped the cadence.
Offside.
He left his man, came down to make the play. Watch this.
Fine.
Dennis McKnight gives a kiss to James Tuck. So I guess James Tuck must have been involved in their punt block schemes this week. Coach McKnight, we interviewed a couple weeks ago. He is a true great character for our league. I know the players on the Ticats love playing for him.
Well, you and I were talking on our way down to the stadium today about things that come up on the long week leading into Labor Day Classics, where a player will come to you and go, well, Coach, I got an idea. Maybe I try something. Can we do this? Maybe that kind of looked like James Tuck might have come to McKnight during the middle of the week and gone, listen, I think I saw something. I think we can get a block punt. You know, it's paid off. Tyler Turnowski makes the play as now Nick Arbuckle goes for a quick screen underneath, double caught. Devin Verzuk, who just had the touchdown, the starting middle linebacker right there to bring down Kevin Mittal.
Little middle screen here, but great recovery by Miles Fox, the nose guard of the defense. He does a great job of just saying, oh, it's an inside screen, I'm going to recover and change direction. Watch that change direction by a big defensive lineman, 290-pounders. That's what's so difficult running these inside screens, how athletic our defensive linemen are in the Canadian Football League, how they can adjust and change direction.
Arbuckle, deep drop pressure on, and Julian Hauser gets the sack into the backfield. Ryan Hunter earlier this season said he had great respect for 95. He's one of the most underrated pass rushers in the Canadian Football League, and Hauser proving it right there on second down to end the Argonauts' drive.
I believe it's this, which I would call an NQ, where the nose goes first and then the quick goes second. Yep, Julian Hauser comes around, and you're just trying to get your offensive lineman in different spots. Julian Hauser, Miles Fox opens it up. Hauser comes around, gets the offensive line in different spots. Nice sack, 4th sack of the season for Julian Hauser, 8th-year player from Clarendon.
Haggerty kicks this one away, had a 71-yard single earlier on. This time drops it right down the middle of the field as the Tiger Cats had 2 men back to return. That was a 62-yard punt with a little bit of breeze coming off the lake towards the Hamilton Mountain here. Aiding Haggerty as halftime coming up. Kate Burness, Enoch Wamba, Milt Stiegel, and Davis Sanchez. We'll have the analysis for you, and of course tee up the tremendous Battle of Alberta that's coming up for you later on. But Hauser, the former Calgary Stampeder, after signing his free agency, went west and then decided, you know what, I kind of missed that place with the black and gold and the Labor Day Classics and all that stuff, and he brings down Nick Arbuckle here in his return.
And Brent Munson was really happy to have him. Obviously knew the system, easy transition to bring him back.
Mitchell. Crowd quiets down over the middle off the hands of Tim White. That one a little bit high and away. Mitchell wants it back, but all he's got is 2nd and 10.
Just look, you know, the Ticats just look a little bit out of sync. They miss some throws, some drops. They've had a time count. They've had a bad snap once or twice. That's another high snap for Bo here. And they're just a little off, and that's what's hurting them. They're going to be 2nd and long again against a defense that, hey, they know it's 100% pass now, and they're going to make their plays. 2 weeks ago, they really struggled converting on 2nd down versus the Riders. So they've got to be better on 1st down.
Mitchell against the Argonauts, who bail out, gets it underneath. DeAndre Smith rolls his way forward. Valuable yards after the catch that time. They're backed up deep in their own end with the wind in their face right now. And they will signal 1st down for Hamilton.
A lot of people trying to come out of a blitz look. DeAndre Smith is the underneath player. This is why it's a good thing. Check it down to underneath players. Let them get north-south. Put you in a position for 1st downs.
Clock rolls inside 80 seconds remaining as the first 2nd down conversion of the Tiger Cats is now flipped the other direction. It's tea time. Tavares McFadden returns the interception and then has it knocked away, and it's punched out of bounds possession. Liam Dobson knew if he just punched it out of bounds, it would be Hamilton's ball once again. And the wild ride of emotions for Bo Levi Mitchell on that snap, endless.
Smart execution by the Ticats. This ball is too high. McFadden's there to make the play. But this is what you always talk to your defensive backs about, okay? Your receivers about. DBs aren't used to carrying the football. So when there's a turnover, you strip the ball back. So anytime somebody intercepts the ball, the first coaching you're always talking in meetings, go run and punch the ball out. They're not used to carrying it. I didn't see which number got that.
Yeah.
Great. And then Dobson knocks it out of bounds, understanding the football IQ, the last to touch it. So great execution by the Ticats after the takeaway. Keep possession.
Nothing says Labor Day Classic like a 300-pounder sliding on the turf to punch a ball out of bounds and retain possession. As Bo Levi Mitchell gets the football back. Now, can he do anything with it? To the outside. It is Tim White one-on-one against Tavares McFadden, who's probably pretty angry at himself for not being able to hold on to that one. A gain of what looks like about 8.5 on first down.
Bo using his legs, getting the ball on the perimeter. Nice throw on the outside. Just always trying to get that first and easy throw with a little run action to get you to second and short. Pull the ball, put it on the perimeter, throw the out flank.
Mitchell to the sideline here, gets a quick break. And Scott Milanovic sends in Jake Dolegala to the game. 6'7", 242. A little bit of time to Saskatchewan. BC as well. Short yardage is in. They had Antti Milanovic-Litre handling that responsibility earlier on this year, but he's not in the lineup here today, so Dolegala plunges his way forward, and Mitchell returns to the field with just 40 seconds remaining and a 2-point deficit.
40 seconds left, so you've got a ways to go. You want to make sure from this yardage point, at least, you get the wind in your, you got a long way to go to get a touchdown. Right now, they should be trying to put themselves in a position. Can we get close enough? A field goal difficult because the wind's in their face for this drive.
Bonnie Robinson, the big tight end, lined up to the left of Mitchell. They'll run that direction. Greg Bell stood up right in the middle of the play. Winton McManus doing Winton McManus things as always. Yes. And Lappa, you stood straight up on that one. You heard the pop.
Yes, and you can see the intentions of the Ticats here. Running the football here with 30 seconds left. They just say, hey, we're going to go to halftime. We're going to be 15-13 at halftime. We're going to run this whole clock down. We don't want to give Toronto any more opportunities. We're just going to run this out.
Ever go to the aquarium and just see them throwing meat into the shark tank? That's what this is for Greg Bell. He's just standing there going, wait, I'm the meat in the shark tank right now, and the shark is Winton McManus. Here he comes. But Hamilton will take the knee, and for a defense of the Argonauts that's given up 32 offensive touchdown drives allowed so far this season. It's the worst in the Canadian Football League coming into Labor Day. Well, classic Labor Day. All the numbers, all the stats, all the predictions coming in. Just like Kate and the panel said, why do we try to predict things in the Canadian Football League? A Labor Day Classic where no touchdown drives were allowed by the Double Blue defense. But Jake Herslow, a successful first half as he continues his wonderful streak of touchdowns.
Yeah, making opportunities downfield. Get a couple underneath catches, but a big touchdown pass versus man coverage. Showing his abilities to be great with the ball in his hands and also score touchdowns defense.
Let's head down in here from Jakey's with Matthew Shinetti.
Now, Jake, what has been going on over the last month? Because you have been showing us a mixtape of your highlights that seems to be a weekly thing. What's been the messaging, certainly from Ryan Dinwiddie to you, and how you can contribute to this offense?
Just keep going one play at a time, one day at a time, and just keep doing everything I could do, at different positions on the field, just to really do anything I can to help the team win.
You're getting a sense of what Labor Day can be like. It is crazy. Expect the unexpected. Yeah. What does this team have to do offensively in the second half to build on the lead?
Just keep executing, and it's back to the same mindset, one play at a time. And I think we're doing a good job. I think defense is doing a good job. We're going to face some adversity there with that block punt, but, we're going to come out in the second half firing.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Let's go, Argo.
Stadium, as a kid who came here when it opened and watched that 2015 Labor Day Classic, what was it like to make that play?
I mean, it's everything, right? It's what I dreamed about since a kid. Like you said, playing tyke football, HMFA, junior Ticats, it's everything I could have imagined, but it's all the preparation. It's my team. It's not just me that made that play. It was all the guys on the line that aren't going to get called out for making that play. It's going to be all about me, but no, it's not about me.
making a play is going to have to be the objective also in the second half, knowing what the Argos are going to be doing and how much they're going to be battling. What was the conversation like in the locker room?
Hey, just be us. It's a new half, two-point game, so that's a 0-0 game. It's anyone's game at this point. Just stay disciplined. No penalties. Keep the ball safe, and it's our game.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
The first time these two teams met earlier this season, they were both below 500 in the first meeting. Now it's Hamilton at 6-4, Toronto at 3-8, but it's the Argonauts that have the 2-point advantage. As Tyler Ternowski just said, keep the ball safe, don't take penalties, execute. And they think they have a chance to come away with another Tiger Cats home victory here. 8-2 over their last 10 in the Labor Day Classic, but Jake Herslow has other ideas as he starts this off with a bang across the 45-yard line on the return, and Nick Arbuckle comes out after a 17-for-20 first half. He's had more than 300 yards passing in 5 straight games. He's on pace for that here once again.
Here's a couple of things that the Ticats defense, I think, needs to do. Is Nick is so good at, hey, you want to play coverage? I'm gonna scramble around and find people open. The pass rush, he's not going to hurt you with his legs, but he's a good pocket athlete. He's going to move left, right. He's going to climb and find throws. I think the Ticats defense has got to encourage him to get the ball out of his hand quicker than playing so much coverage.
Arbuckle takes the snap, pumps the screen, pressure on, and Nick tries to spin away, but the Hamilton defense flies out of the locker room and straight into the backfield as Kendricks right there to bring down Arbuckle.
I believe this is a double twist. Both guys are coming around. You're trying to always confuse offensive linemen. They think they're blocking the man in front of them, and then you move them. Okay, Hendricks is the second man. Kendricks is the second man in. He's got 4 sacks on the season. He's part of that rotation of this Ticats defense. Did a great job moving. Nick Arbuckle had no place to go with the football. That's why he had to move off his spot, and then the pass rush got home.
Tough down in distance here for Arbuckle as he checks it down underneath Kevin Mattal. And they'll see whether or not he can get enough yards after the catch to get to the first down marker. Mattal refuses to be tackled. He needed to get to the 53-yard line of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and it looks as though they'll spot this about half a yard shy, but what an effort from Mattal in the blocking downfield, Lapo.
Screen passes are great on these long yardage. Mattal's going to get out. Bose's going to come out, and the center's going to come out. But watch. I believe Bose makes this great play here. As he throws, he's going here. That's enough to throw the Ticats defense out of whack, throw the Will linebacker out of whack right there. Kyler Fisher to get the yardage for the first down. Offensive lineman, difficult being downfield. John Bose, great job from Calgary.
And never in doubt on the short yardage package after they spotted it, as I said, about half a yard shy. Nick Arbuckle plunges forward, so they convert on 2nd and forever that time on the Mattal screen, and Toronto's offense up against adversity early on here in the first half. Usually we can take a sec to see the stats. The drive is basically dead.
And it just talks about Kevin Mattal and how much this Argonaut offense likes to use him. You've seen these behind the line of scrimmage plays to him. You've seen that, put him in the backfield like he's a blocker, then release him out on the screen. Just so dynamic. He's in the backfield right now.
St. Hubert, Quebec, and they'll look once again to Mattal as he crosses the 50 and gets chopped down. Nice open field tackle that time.
Those are fun guys to have a game plan for as an offensive coordinator. You say, hey, sometimes he's thick enough to be a blocker. Sure, put him in the protection schemes. Okay, now that he's in blocking, I can now do a screen pass. So now it's a different alignment for the defense when a receiver's in the backfield. Here, he's in a receiver, and then you leak him out in the flat. You think he's going to block? Nope, he's going to leak out in the flat. Nick takes the underneath throw. So a dynamic football player gets better and better every week. Enjoyed watching him this season, how he's developed more this year.
Chopped on by Deshaun Amos as well, the former Argonaut himself, as Arbuckle hit as he throws, and incomplete, looking for Mackay Pope. And Casey Sales in the backfield, so the drive does come to an end after the Mattal conversion on that second down screen pass, and the punting unit does come out.
A little bit of pressure. He's going to run the Canadian Football League route of the day, a bench route, but it's the pressure from the front side. You're going to see Casey Sales got pressure, forced Nick to throw this way too early. You see coming in right there early. That wasn't Casey Sales, that was Myler Kendricks again. He beats the right guard, gets good opportunity. That forced Nick to throw that ball quickly.
John Haggerty kicks it away from his own 50. high lofting boot, drops down 38 yards on the punt, but solid field position defensively here for the Toronto Argonauts as Bo Levi Mitchell back out onto the field. Needs 3 touchdown passes for 250 in his career. Some work to be done here in the Labor Day Classic. Bo Levi Mitchell, the first half of action, not big numbers, came in looking like he was ready to set them on fire after everything that happened in the first matchup of this season. An encouraging opening drive, Lapo, but since then it's been relatively slow going for the offense, including that man, Kenny Lawler, just waiting to see when he can catch fire.
Yeah, 10 of 16, 130 yards, 1 interception for Bo. You know, what I think they got to do is get some touches. Kenny Lawler has got 1 catch for 5 yards. The first time these guys played, 6 catches, 207 yards, 3 TDs. You can tell the Argonauts are not trying to give him any big plays, but you've got to get the ball in his hands.
Lawler with the massive outing earlier on this season, and also needs 47 yards here this afternoon in the Labor Day Classic for 5,000 in his career. Keandre Smith gets pumped in the open field. He's wrapped up and brought down by Willie Drew into the lineup, playing that backup halfback position, rotating in and making a play here on Smith.
Willie Drew, excellent. This is not easy to do. Chase a guy across the entire field, as you see Willie Drew in your screen, run all the way down and make the tackle in space. So that's chasing across the wide side of the field. Excellent play by Willie Drew.
Only 15 sacks allowed coming into today in 12 games for the Hamilton Tiger Cats offensive line. They'll look to protect Bo Levi Mitchell here on 2nd and 7. Over the middle, Smith, crossing route, going to outflank Benji Franklin, tries to turn the corner, and Drew pushes him out of bounds. And once again, Hamilton finding a way. Smith wanted the flag at the end of the play, won't get it, but regardless, they move the chains.
Keandre's lined up as a tight end and releases post-snap. Bo knew it was zone coverage wide away by the configure of the defense. Just throws the underneath on 2nd and 5 to Keandre for the first down.
Gets a shot of the replay there.
Yeah, the camera guys getting hit and whacked.
Riding on board with our camera operators as they...
Matt is doing well. We've been told.
We have confirmed. Matt is okay down on the sidelines as Mitchell throws into a crowd and nearly intercepted. Tavares McFadden was looking for his 2nd interception off Mitchell here in the Classic.
Tavares McFadden recognizing, you know, part of the defensive back's job is, like, at this level of football, you're supposed to play coverage and be able to cover somebody man-to-man, but also look into the backfield. And you can see a perfect example of that. Tavares McFadden, he sees Bo getting ready to throw a quick RPO. He drives on the ball and makes the play. But he also has to be able to cover a go route. So that's the hard part of playing defensive back in the CFL.
Tighten down some of those slot backs as Mitchell, with pressure coming, works the pocket, slides around, gets rid of it, over the top of McFadden. What a throw from Bo! Down the sideline, Keandre Smith is tracked down. Keandre Smith, he was already over the 100-yard mark, and he adds more to a tremendous effort here.
The strength of Bo playing in this system with Scott Milanovic is, you go ahead and roll it, guys. Watch him. He drops back. He's looking for his route. Now watch him move to the right, moves to the left, starts scrambling to the left, and he still keeps his patience and understanding. I'm going to find a guy I can throw to. Finds Keandre Smith for the huge play. But that's great by Bo's feet. He didn't pull the ball down. He kept the ball in a position to find another throw.
And is that the play that gets him into rhythm? A gain of 55. Keandre Smith's up to 160 here near the midway point of the 3rd quarter. Underneath, Kenny Lawler trying to spin away from Cameron Judge, and Judge having none of it. But you wonder, is that movement and the eyes and the feet and everything of Bo Levi Mitchell you just talked about, Lapo, is that the play that gets him going?
Cameron Judge right there. See him crossing. Oh, there's Cameron Judge. I'm sorry. I apologize. Seeing Kenny Lawler on there. They had a double move on there, and I think Shamar Bridges gets open on the double move. Bo didn't see it, went to the check down. Cameron Judge once again making tackles all over the field.
Brendan O'Leary, orange, in as a tight end. That gives the waggle to Tim White. As now Bo looks into the end zone. Kenny Lawler devastating the Argonauts once again.
Sooner or later, you had to get him opportunities. A little bit of a pressure inside. It's a zone blitz, but he does see the one-on-one McFadden on Lawler. McFadden's got to cover inside and outside. Kenny Lawler knows that, puts his foot in the ground, runs to the back pylon of the end zone for the corner route. Way too much space. Easy throw and catch for Bo and Kenny Lawler.
First lead of the ball game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. A bit of a sleepy, meandering first half for the black and gold offense. And it felt like that throw from Bo Levi Mitchell down the left sideline to Keandre Smith, a gain of 55. It kind of woke up the monster. This Tiger Cats offense has got so much potential. And that will be the 22nd touchdown pass of the season for Bo Levi Mitchell. Leads the Canadian Football League here and now leads the ball game.
Bo Levi Mitchell with a 18-yard touchdown to Kenny Lawler. Kenny Lawler's got 3 for 25. Let's talk about what's happening. The safety is kicked over to this side because there's a receiver here. Not sure whether he's in man or zone, but he's committed to that side. Tavares McFadden now has to cover a post and the corner route. Very difficult. You watch Kenny Lawler go. He attacks his technique, goes vertical, foot presses like he's going on the post, and then he foot presses again and runs to the back pylon for the touchdown. Excellent execution on the corner route. Puts Tavares McFadden way too much space to cover. Bo Levi Mitchell recognized it. Great touchdown pass. Great response by the Ticats.
Legio hangs this one up in the air, drops down. Little miscommunication on who's going to return between Grant and Herslow. And Grant will be tackled and brought down on the play. But Kenny Lawler, I love when Bo Levi Mitchell said back in training camp, he shook his hand for the first time. He just crushed his hand. He said, yeah, I think we can work together. This guy's got catching radius, and he certainly has a knack for making big plays against the double blue.
When I first encountered Kenny Lawler, he was joined our practice squad when I was with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, I believe it was in 2018. And he was just one of those guys. Usually the guys aren't very good, Marshall, when they come into training camp or at the NFL cuts. They're like, oh, this guy's great. This guy's amazing. When he showed up, he made 4 catches that first day. I was like, wow, this guy's going to play in our league a long time.
Catches your eye, certainly just like Spencer Brown does as he starts off his second half with a nice jaunt around the outside. It'll go for a gain of 14, 15 yards. And already into Hamilton's end of the field.
And this is what, this is what I was thinking about. One thing for the Toronto Argonauts is Spencer Brown's 4 carries, 40 yards, 10-yard average. Keep giving him footballs against a defense that doesn't run the football. Hey, what are you guys doing to Matt? Leave our camera guy alone. Stop running into him.
Anybody calling plays at Matt?
Boy. Spencer Brown, 6 catches, 54 yards, leading receiver on the team. Good job, Matty. Keep staying. Stay vigilant, my friend, right?
10 touches, 107 yards right now for Spencer Brown. Is almost a collision in the backfield with Mackay Polk, maybe getting used to that CFL motion after coming back from NFL training camp with the Atlanta Falcons. Back on the roster, back in the lineup here today, but Brown punches his way forward for game 9.
And this is what I was kind of talking about. Like, you got a guy who's running the football against a defense and giving up a lot of yardage. Give him opportunities to run the football. See him right here on the zone play. Mackay Polk, as you just said, didn't time up the motion first week of practice. Maybe they only walked through that play. You just got to understand you want him to cross before the ball snap or be later after the running back. Usually he wants to be before the running back gets there.
Big Herslow and Dejon Brissett to the sideline. Darius Sirocco and Felix Garon-Goche in short yardage package. A little bit of extra weight up front, and Nick Arbuckle remains in the ball game to work short yardage. Arbuckle puts his head down, pushes to the right-hand side, and he'll be rejoined by Jake Herslow on the field, who had the touchdown in that first half. As he talked with us this week, Herslow did about the concept of, well, essentially when I was on the practice roster and Arbuckle was the 3rd-string quarterback behind Cam Dukes, Chad Kelly, we were getting a ton of reps in at the end of practices or before practices or during special teams units of practice. We threw endlessly.
That's how it
all we did. All we did was throw together, and all of a sudden you see the chemistry come to life.
They build a relationship, and what our league has done a good job of, and it's basically a roster thing, is years ago in the Canadian Football League, you would run your plays versus the defense. You have carded plays. And teams have gotten away from running carded plays. They run one-on-ones. They go, you run your defense, you run our offense, and we kind of strip together, and that gets you running your best stuff.
Herslow looks to block on this one, but it goes the other direction. And Dave Unger, the third, makes a nice move in the open field, gets away from two tacklers and gets a first down.
And I would say that, so that gives Herslow an opportunity to be running his system with Nick Arbuckle, and that's why those guys can get those big relationships. Here, Nick pulling this ball, putting the ball outside to David Unger, who's always in the right place at the right time. As Nick would say, I trust David Unger is always going to be there for me. Breaks the tackle. You want that field receiver to be able to make people miss because he's got a lot of space to the wide side of the field. Nice catch by Unger and make the first guy miss.
Real sense that that was a confidence throw as well from Arbuckle, just rolling to his right, flipped it out of his hands on the money. This time he'll hand it off as Spencer Brown turns the corner at the 30. He gets popped out of bounds by Jamal Peters at the 25-yard line. He'll go for a gain of 5.
A little bit of a pull scheme here. And then you try to do this block down, and pull. You're trying to separate the defense on the outside zone play. This is called a pin. You pin the end man, and then you pull everybody around. Separate the defense so everybody who doesn't run to the sideline. Get Spencer Brown around. You see Talbot getting in there. You see Peters getting an opportunity. Jamal Peters getting in there. You try to run the ball to the perimeter because the corners normally don't tackle as well as the interior guys.
Hamilton trying to take the season series here today with a victory earlier this year. Only one game remaining between the two, and this will help on second down. Is that Devin Verisuk? He's got a touchdown in the ball game already, and your starting middle linebacker, the rookie sensation, now has a sack.
Okay, when you put your middle linebacker here and you got your defensive end, you do him in and him around. Why is that difficult? The linebacker's such a better athlete. So as that twist happens, he comes around. The left, Shane Richards cannot recover for that. You put speed in the line of scrimmage in the pass rush. Verisek, great play. Forcing Arbuckle left and makes the play.
Devin Verisuk said the toughest adjustment he had to make coming to the Canadian Football League out of University of Windsor was playing grown men who are trying to feed their families and the physicality of guys who are desperate to find a way. As Liram Haralahu knocks through the triple. It's a 2-point ball game once again, but I'd say Verisuk has figured it out. Another successful day, number 49 here in the Hammer. Angelo Mosca, Joe Montford, Calvin Tiggle. You want to go through the years. Rob Hitchcock. Could this be the next one? Another legendary defender. Devin Verisuk making plays. Matthew Shinetti has more.
Yeah, remember the name, and you might see his jersey a lot more around Hamilton. Devin Verisuk certainly has noticed it in this, his rookie season, and it's really shocked him given the fact that, like Tyler Tranowski, Hamilton Stadium was where Devin Verisuk as a child came with his Essex County Ravens to watch his former mentor, Brian Bulkey. He used to be a defensive lineman for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, especially in that 2015 Labor Day Classic. Now, with all that said, the one thing that Verisuk says that he's noticed, and Brett Munson has noticed, and also Stavros Kafantonis has noticed, is that utter dedication that Verisuk has to what he does and his process. And when he sees jerseys in the stadium bearing that 49, the one thing Verisuk says is, it reminds me that I can't be perfect all the time, but if I try to be as perfect as I can be, I can land among some greats. March?
Yeah, he's trying to be a great. There's no doubt about that, and he certainly is becoming a fan favorite very, very quickly. And one of my favorite parts of the conversation with Devin earlier this year was also when he just said, yeah, some of my friends were waiting for me outside the locker room, and Bo Levi Mitchell was standing there, and my friends went, dude, that's Bo Levi. And I was like, Devin, is that weird that you're the quarterback of the defense and your quarterback is actually Bo Levi Mitchell, who you grew up watching? He's like, yeah, my friends couldn't believe I play on the same team as him. It's like he's living in this world of just, it feels surreal that he's standing here and making plays on Labor Day.
And hats off to Brent Munson saying, hey, we're going to play this young guy. He's talented, he can run, he's physical. He just needs reps, and let's put him in the game and get him some reps.
Side handoff here to Greg Bell, and the Argonauts defense stands tall. Mitchell, ball taken out of his hands on that one is Witten McManus.
Speaking of linebackers making plays in the run game, Wynton McManus comes downhill on this. This is just trying to bend the ball back here. You'll see Wynton McManus as the end man on the line of scrimmage right here. He's in a position where he beats across the face of Jacob Zott and then just slants inside to go make the tackle, create the negative yardage play, force the punt.
Mitchell will go back and take a look on the tablet here to try and reassess what they potentially could have done different on that drive, but he will come out hungry with a 2-point lead as it stands right now. Minute 40 remaining in this third quarter. Pressure on from the Argonauts and protected well by Hamilton up front. As the dribbling punt will bounce around to the left side of Janarian Grant. The no yards flag comes in. Just a 34-yard punt, and now Janarian Grant turns the corner. Plenty of Hamilton jerseys giving chase, but with the flag out, pushed out of bounds. Owen Hubert makes the play, and a 20-18 advantage. Devin Verazuk, plenty of work to do, leading this Hamilton defense. The man in the middle right there this year's draft. Tackle Hunger Day here in Hamilton for over 20 years, along with the CFL and its member clubs. The Pure Later Tackle Hunger program has delivered over 25 million pounds of food to families in need. You can go to purelatertacklehunger.ca to donate. Another successful event is always Hamilton on Labor Day. A large number of families and those in need assisted by the great program that spans coast to coast across the country, making a difference for so many at this time of the year.
We think about our friend Chris Schultz, who from around this neck of the woods, lived here for many years. What he did for Pure Later Tackle Hunger.
And from Aldershot, Schultz, of course, making a massive difference, promoting that program and being its champion for so many years, and it continues to carry on his legacy and the success and the impact of it. Unquestionable. Many reasons to celebrate wonderful programs like that on a day like this. As Nick Arbuckle, with great starting field position after a 39-yard return, will get brought down once again. It's the combination of Tyler Fisher and Julian Hauser getting it done.
Good execution by the Ticats. This is what's called a gap exchange. As Nick pulls the ball, he pulls it because the end crashed. But watch what happens. The athletic Kyle Fisher, he comes around the edge of the defense, and he says, I've now got contained. He comes around. Nick gets pulled back, can't throw the ball outside. Fisher is there for the play. Athletic linebacker getting his second start.
Ryan Hunter in no man's land on that one. Is Arbuckle now with second and long. Plenty of time to throw. Can't find anybody. Hit as he lets it go. Looking for Mackay Pope and throws it off the back of a Tiger Cats defender. Was that Reggie Stubblefield? Right there alongside Destin Talbert to celebrate.
You can see the difference in the pass rush in this second half. I really think they're doing a much better job of making Nick Arbuckle uncomfortable, containing him in the pocket for one, but also making it not easy for him to find his throws. Another good stop. Ticats defense given opportunities. This is a huge stop. The ball started at the 40-yard line, so this created a much longer kick. They got the wind in their back, so this should be fine for the Argonauts here.
They found a good one in Destin Talbert making the play there. At North Dakota State in his second year is Liram Hairolahu. Attempt this from 51 yards away. Plenty of leg, and doink! A Labor Day doink.
I apologize, Argo fans.
First miss for Liram since August 9th. And from that distance, he was 3 of 3 on the year, 50 plus. That was a long one, but Liram misses what could be valuable points come the conclusion of this ball game.
It's good team football. A little bit of a bobble here, but if you think about it, the defense created a negative yardage play and then allowed no yardage on the second play, forcing the longer field goal. Great execution by the defense after the big punt return. 2 and out with a lost yardage. Of course, a missed kick.
So after a 34-yard punt and a 39-yard return, 0 points for the Toronto Argonauts. Now Bo Levi and Mitchell goes outside. Kenny Lawler trying to get underneath it. Officials are right there and had a perfect look at it. Somehow Kenny Lawler got back to the football. As that'll do it through 3 quarters of action. As the Oski Wee-Wees and the Argo Suck Chants roll around Hamilton Stadium, we head to the 4th.
messing with the wind.
4 sacks for the Hamilton Tiger Cats defense right now. That's the number that seems to be impacting the stretch of this one. But really the inspiration throughout this season for the Hamilton Tiger Cats is the difficult news that they had about Ted Kavai being diagnosed with cancer. Their general manager, hometown guy from Burlington, McMaster connections as well. He ends up coming into this season building this team that you're watching on the field right now. The first annual Ted Kavai Bowl in support of the Canadian Cancer Foundation was happening this past week. The Hamilton Hurricanes and the GTA Grizzlies, as they went at a tremendous effort and a great idea as well by those two organizations to come together and to celebrate Ted and everything that he means to Canadian football and, of course, in this part of the province. So tremendous to see, and of course the energy in full effect here in the Hammer around the team that Ted has pieced together, and you obviously know Ted's work very well, Lapo.
Yeah, I hope he's doing well. I've been exchanging texts with him last couple of weeks. I miss you, buddy, and I hope you're doing well. And I know everyone in Hamilton's and the CFL's thinking about you.
Absolutely. As Hamilton begins with a double reverse, now they'll flip it back to Bo Levi Mitchell, goes to Greg Bell, crosses the 55, and now he's inside Toronto's end of the field. So Scott Milanovich getting creative with the play calling. Oh, get out the pen here, Lapo. Let's see.
Well, here it is. This is watching film study. This is a fullback. This is basically a fullback is going to leak out after the reverse. You're trying to show a bunch of misdirection, but leak the fullback out on a wheel route. This is a Purdue Boilermaker play I've seen over the past couple years. Fullback was covered, so you check it back down to your back. That's the thing on these special plays. When you run these special plays, you don't have to hit for the touchdown. You still have a check down. That's a huge first down play. You get people confused. Great execution. Good call by Scott Milanovich, offense coordinator.
Oh, razzle-dazzle to begin the fourth. Is there more to come? We'll find out as Kenny Lawler breaks away from coverage and another catch in front of Benji Franklin. Another Tiger Cats first down.
Really having a better, they must have been looking at the same stats as us when we came out and said, where's Kenny Lawler's touches? Putting him in a one-on-one situation. Okay, we're going to highlight right there. That's the one-on-one. He runs all the way up to 18 yards, and then or 20 yards, comes right back down your stem. When you run it that deep, sooner or later the corner's going to have to turn and run, and you just throw it back. Great protection to give us that throw on the outside for the Ticats.
The Tiger Cats leading by 2. Mitchell pumps, looking into the end zone, over the top. Shamar Bridges! Touchdown, Tiger Cats! Bo Levi Mitchell with his second of the ball game.
If you want to play receiver, you got to do more than just be somebody who catches footballs. I want you to watch this. There's going to be a pressure. Keandre Smith comes into the backfield, and then he comes across. Bo recognizes that, and that allows him to throw the touchdown because Keandre Smith came into the protection and saw the rusher off the front side. Bo trusted it. Throws the nice touchdown to Shamar Bridges. Great execution as Keandre Smith added in.
The extra point is good, 27-18. After a 4-play drive, 70 yards in 2:03. Covering Shamar, a bridge too far. Bo Levi Mitchell, his 56th career 300-yard game.
Home crowd fired up. Big 4-play, 70-yard drive, 2 minutes off the clock for Bo Levi Mitchell. On this Labor Day Classic, starts out with a little bit of a razzle-dazzle. Fake a reverse, throw it back to the quarterback, throw it back to your check down. Big throw on the outside, 19-yard gain on the outside to Kenny Lawler. And then this double move, Shamar Bridges, back of the end zone, 23-yard touchdown, getting the ball to their playmakers. Protection's holding up very well, a lot of misdirection, good execution, great drive by the Ticats.
Net yards in this second half. Hamilton 179 to Toronto's 43. It has been a momentum swing after Hamilton struggled in the first half to get things going, but they are on track now as Janarian Grant tries to change that. Crosses the 40 and will be tracked down by a fellow returner, and White But a tremendous job by Janarian Grant making something out of nothing, and a little bit of instant offense here for the Argonauts in the return game.
And this is what you talk about, have your returner. Janarian Grant's about to be tackled low, right there on Hill, breaks out, keeps his legs going, has strong lower body, breaks it out here. And then you see White come in and make it, as you said, Quavion White, the returner, makes a great job coming in to make the tackle. A lot of space on the wide side of the field. So Janarian Grant, big return, using his legs, picking his legs up, having the power and the strong lower body.
6 returns today for Janarian Grant between the punt return game and the kickoff return game, averaging 22.5 yards per return in all of them. As Arbuckle checks it down underneath, Spencer Brown trying to get outside, makes 2 men miss, and then is wrapped up and brought down after a gain of 4.
So secondary doing their best to make sure Nick Arbuckle is not throwing to his primary receiver, forcing him to look backside, can't find anything backside, then go down to your check down and say, hey, listen, we're gonna tackle your back and put you in 2nd and long.
Arbuckle works his eyes from left to right and finds DeJean Brissett as tomahawk came in from Jamal Peters, unable to knock that one loose. First down for the Argonauts here as they convert.
Brissett's going to be here. He's just going to curl up in the hole. Peters is going to be the low zone player. The halfback's going to go high. Just too much space for Peters to get in there. Nick recognizes it, throws it quickly, flips his hips, takes the underneath. Peters had to get high to cover the dig.
Kevin Mittal catches this one on the screen outside. Interesting, while you were watching the replay of that lap, but while you were breaking it down, Kevin Mittal actually helped Jake Herslow get set up on the line of scrimmage. I think he was telling him to widen his splits out so that Mittal had more room to run once he caught this screen.
Once again, the Argos going no huddle here, trying to get some extra plays. You can see Mittal bubble screen to the attached to one of their run plays, keep getting the ball to a productive player on the perimeter.
Well, certainly understands this Argonauts offense is now Mackay Pope makes the grab, tries to spin away. Nice gain of 8 yards on first down. 2nd and 2 coming up.
3 steps, quarterback's friend. 3-step passes, ball out quickly. 4-yard slant route, come inside quickly. Make the defensive back make the tackle.
Love the change of pace here from Ryan Dinwiddie in the Argonauts offense. Certainly feels like they flipped the switch. They were getting a bit stagnant at times, but Dinwiddie knows when to go ahead and ask them to get to the line of scrimmage quickly, and it certainly makes it feel like this offense is humming a little bit on this drive.
Kendrick's in there. Kendrick's using his big body to stop the tailback's feet. Tough to run the inside zone play with penetration like that.
1st and 10. 5 receivers out for Nick Arbuckle. Looks to his right in this one. Low and away, incomplete. As Mackay Pope was the intended receiver. Sean Amos right there in coverage once again.
Sean Amos put no man-to-man position. Good drive, good job with his right hand. Best thing he does is doesn't get that left hand involved. Sometimes you're worried about getting that left hand, you get nervous. All of a sudden you grab on, create the penalty. With good trust in his speed to make the tackle. Make the knockdown.
Yeah, 10 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. 26,000 strong on 2nd and long as the completion goes to Herslow, makes 2 men miss, and decides to get north-south all the way down to the 10-yard line. It's a 15-yard gain and another 2nd down conversion.
What's going to happen is this is going to be a zone. It's going to be what you call a 3-deep zone. And you're going to have a vertical player. Herslow's going to recognize that there's a safety or a low player right there, and he's going to stay outside. So as he comes in, he's sitting there. Nick saw it immediately, and there's just too much space for the halfback.
Arbuckle, deep drop, looks to his left, checks it down underneath. Spencer Brown makes the grab, gets chopped down and around the 5-yard line. An equal opportunity offense right now for the Argonauts. 4 different receivers with at least 4 catches in this ball game, but it's Spencer Brown, you just saw there, getting his 9th catch that leads them.
Very impressive, Spencer Brown, what he's been able to bring to this offense. It's gone through a bunch of running backs, obviously, this year. McMahon this year. You've also had
Mayan Williams
as a rookie trying to make up twos from Ohio State.
Arbuckle with a blitz look coming. Deep drop, crossing route underneath, dumps it off, and it is complete. Brown, but what a tremendous play. Kyler Fisher continues his hot streak from the big game he had against Saskatchewan.
Man coverage down at the goal line. Fisher's going to have to chase, and he's going to have to chase and go through all this wash. There's going to be crossing routes and everything. He's got to stay with that and run across and be in a position to make the tackle and bring him down. Great speed, great athletic kid. That's what Brent Muntz, I said, tell me about this Fisher kid. It's like he is an athlete. This kid's got the ability to run and make plays. He looks like a DB. He's so fast, playing linebacker for us.
Play clock down to 3. Arbuckle up against the crowd noise, just gets the snap off. Backpedals his way away from traffic, flips it up in the air. It's complete, and it's Mackay Polk back into the CFL end zone in his first game in double blue. And we got ourselves a classic brewing.
There's a reason these are the top-rated quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League. This is going to be a 1+, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 6 blockers. Run it, guys. Go ahead. Watch Nick. He knows it's 1+. He's just going to retreat and wait for Mackay Polk to run across the field. And the DBs in what you call +1 coverage or 0 coverage are in a bind. They can't make that catch. They cannot make the coverage on that crossing route. He just waits and throws it.
Welcome to the 4th quarter of a Labor Day Classic between the QEW rivals. After a 4-play, 70-yard drive that ended in a Tiger Cats touchdown to Shamar Bridges, it's a 10-play, 60-yarder over 5 minutes that ends with Mackay Polk having a little conversation with the Hamilton faithful.
I can't believe you kiss your cup.
Welcome back, Mackay Polk. End result of this touchdown drive, a couple of throws underneath versus zone. Nick Arbuckle seeing the pictures the defense is given, getting the checkdowns. There's Mackay Polk with a catch there. Jake Herslow on the outside makes the halfback Amos miss. Spencer Brown involved on the underneath, and then retreats versus cover 0, finds Mackay Polk for the touchdown. Huge drive, 10 plays, 60 yards, took 5 off the clock. Excellent series for the Argonauts offense and Ryan Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie with the fist pump that tells you he knows they are right in the middle of this ball game. The problem has been finishing. Mackay Polk said this week he believes he could be the player that helps the Argonauts finish more football games and get into the win column more often, just like they did last week on the road. As now it'll be returned across the 30-yard line. Play. As this weekend only, scan the QR promo code on screen to get Crave starting at $3.99 per month. That's it for your first 3 months, and stream the biggest blockbuster movies, hit series, and HBO exclusives all in one place. Crave, proudly Canadian.
Hard Knocks, Buffalo Bills. It's going to be all you, Marsh. All you.
Go Bills. Which, by the way, Jake Herslow's mom, big Bills fan, found out this week. West Seneca, New York. Just around the corner from here. So Herslow feeling the love from back home. Had a bunch of family making the trip today. They've already seen him into the end zone, just like Mackay Polk, just like Shamar Bridges. Bo Levi Mitchell with a 2-point lead inside the final half of the 4th quarter. The Labor Day Classic in 2025 begins with a Kenny Lawler catch on a crossing route over the middle for a gain of 5.
This is where Quentin McManus lives. As the underneath linebacker, he is so good at recognizing when crossing routes are coming and going ahead, getting in his zone drop, but then go and deliver a blow and wrapping up. You see him right there on Kenny Lawler. Gives him no opportunity to get extra yardage.
Bit of a hurry up and wait here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats offense as they'll let Bo Levi Mitchell work at the line of scrimmage. Try to identify the Toronto defense. They'll empty it out 3 by 3. Mitchell looks inside, then outside, and it is complete, but short of the sticks. I'm not sure Bo got the look he thought he was going to.
Called all hitches. Their concept was all hitches to the wide side of the field. He just didn't. There's a hitch here, a hitch here, and a hitch here. Just didn't really trust the inside ones, which is right. He was just late on the throw to Kenny Lawler. I thought he was going to throw the inside one. He had to reset and throw the outside one. If he threw the outside one first, he would have gotten the first down, but too much space. Nice tackle by the Argos coming up on the late throw.
Well, what feels like a missed opportunity here as Toronto reclaims a little bit of that momentum. And we'll get possession of the football back after this punt from Nick Constantino. This one off the side of Constantino's foot, and yeah, that'll be an illegal kick out of bounds. He shanked that one. So great starting field position for Toronto, trailing by 2 with 5:09 remaining in the ball game. Two top scoring teams in the CFL coming into this one. A slow grind to get there, but they've both been putting up the points here in the fourth quarter. Toronto possession when we return to Hamilton Stadium. Welcome back to the Labor Day Classic right here in Hamilton. And what better way to celebrate than to go for a nice little walk with your friends? How about 65 kilometers from BMO Field to right here at Hamilton Stadium? CFL fans fight cancer, of course, the cause. And yeah, it might be worthy of a nap, maybe get a new pair of sneakers along the way. That's a lot of steps they were putting together. Congratulations to Dallas Bergen, Nick Small, Connor Sauve, Rick Pacazio, and Catherine Fulton as well for making their way all the way down the QEW.
Somebody get those guys beers, please.
To celebrate this tremendous Canadian tradition is an incomplete pass on first down intended for Kevin Mittal, that time from Nick Arbuckle, and the Hamilton front four certainly has their ears pinned back at this point in the ballgame. 5 minutes remaining.
Multiple pressure looks from this Ticats trying to do a bunch of things. These two guys are going to go this way. Why? Because two are coming this way. This is a shark. The Sam and the halfback coming. Got a free player on the outside. Gives you an opportunity. Stubblefield can get in there to make the play. Trying to make things difficult for Nick Arbuckle defensively, each down and distance.
Arbuckle with pressure on once again. Steps forward, keeps his eyes down the field, up in the air, and brought down from the sky. Mackay Polk said he wanted to help the Argonauts finish football games. How about that?
Protection. This route concept was open early. Nick couldn't get to it because the protection wasn't there. You can see the twist. He has to climb the pocket, and then he looks like Bo Levi Mitchell back in the Calgary days, where Bo was always climbing the pocket, trying to find the deep post in the progression. He sees it. You always talk to your quarterbacks about, hey, when you break into him, when you climb the pocket, if you have a ball in the deep middle of the field, make sure you take that shot if you see it. Great throw by Nick, and Mackay Polk. Great, go up and get it, make the play.
Polk had 5 touchdowns last year in his first with the Argonauts. He's got 1 here earlier in the first quarter. Will he get another down the stretch of this game as Arbuckle suddenly becomes a magician, working his way around the pocket, completes to Jake Herslow. I know he's on path to try and track down Doug Flutie for all sorts of crazy numbers from back in the day, but starting to look like Flutie dancing around in there.
Well, he was probably on his 6th read here. They had a wheel route up the sideline. Didn't like the wheel route. Then you had guys coming across and crossing routes. Once he can't find the crossing routes. Now he's starting to climb and move all over. This is what's frustrating as a defensive team when you don't pressure, because sometimes gives you opportunities. Let that guy hold the ball and hold the ball. So Nick's using his legs really well, finding the next throw.
2nd and 4. Hand it off, Spencer Brown right down the pipe to the 3-yard line, and it's 1st and goal, Toronto. And Arbuckle wanted to go quickly, but we've hit the 3-minute warning. Games decided in the final 3 minutes so far this season. The Toronto Argonauts 0-6. Never a better time to change that than right here in the Labor Day Classic. Back and forth. Hamilton, Toronto, Labor Day Classic, all on the line when we return. Last night it was a interception return for 2 points on a 2-point conversion attempt. That was Saskatchewan-Winnipeg on Labor Day Classic weekend. And we've got a great one brewing right here. And then we wind things down with CFL OK Tire Labor Day weekend, wrapping up the Battle of Alberta. Edmonton, Calgary, pregame coverage, 5:30 Eastern, 3:30 Mountain on TSN. That's coming up right after this. What a great day of Canadian football as Edmonton and Calgary have much to answer to, with Toronto attempting to get into the end zone. It is Herslow diving for the corner. Toronto back into the lead.
Inside the 3-yard line, you're going to get a lot of man coverage. So you send Jake Herslow across, you block with Makai Polk, you fake the zone play, pull it, and give it to him. Give him an opportunity for the quick touchdown, quick strike. Use his physicality. Dustin Talbot can't get there in time. It's only 3 yards to go. So good execution, getting that ball behind the line of scrimmage.
So Mitchell throwing those curl routes short of the sticks to Kenny Lawler. Flip of possession. And Toronto goes down the field 67 yards in just 5 plays here in a little over 2 minutes. And they have the lead. Now keep in mind, last year in the Labor Day Classic right here at Hamilton Stadium, after Hamilton had a 21-3 advantage, Toronto fought all the way back in and had the lead late in the game, and it came down to a late field goal from Mark Leggio. That was the difference in that one, as Hamilton won a close Classic. But Jake Herslow said this week, Lapo, he doesn't look that strong, he's kind of gangly. He said, don't let the paint fool you, man. Yeah, he can make any play.
And as you talked about at the top, you can see there's a lot of trust in him and everything he does. Nick Arbuckle said all the time, he's doing a great job of climbing pockets, looking for the downfield throws, being a magician, a pocket athlete, not the most mobile guy, not going to pull down and get a ton of rushing yards. Okay, Spencer Brown has got a huge day catching and running. And once again, Herzog for his second touchdown of the game on that 3-yard underneath crossing route. So great response by the Argos. And analyzing, you know, we had talked about there were 4 sacks for the Ticats. Hey, Nick's adjusted, been able to find get his ability to climb the pocket, make throws downfield. Ryan Dimwitty's calling a good game for him. Great lead for this Argo team on the road.
There, Myra-Lahu sends it down the field as White turns across the 25 and is wrapped up just past the 30. Coverage all over it. Jack Cassard down the field. Jonathan Edward as well making the play. And now Bo Levi Mitchell has to go to work, putting his undefeated mark on Labor Day Monday on the line.
Bo Levi right now 21-28, 310 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Derek Parrish digs in up front, looking to get after Bo Levi. Gets the ball out of his hands quickly and sails this one over the top of DeAndre Smith, incomplete.
Just came out of his hand a little bit wrong. He knew where he was going with the football, going on the underneath throw. You can see from takes his drop and flips it out. Just came out of his hand wrong.
Well, inopportune scenario to have the ball come out in a way that he doesn't like, but he's got his 2 top targets, Tim White and Kenny Lawler, together at the top of your screen. Mitchell, quick drop, gets it out. DeAndre Smith cuts back, puts his shoulder down, dives, nice awareness, had the sticks right in front of him, and a first down for the Tiger Cats on the effort of DeAndre Smith.
Good pickup inside. Bo knows DeAndre Smith's outflanked the defense. Beautiful throw. Has a bad throw the first one, but that's a beautiful throw. Puts it in a position where DeAndre Smith can catch it, get upfield. He doesn't get turned back and get the extra yardage for the first down.
172 receiving yards for DeAndre Smith in this ball game. It was Kenny Lawler with 207 earlier this year against the Toronto Argonauts. Different primary here today as Mitchell gets one-on-one. Kenny Lawler tries to widen it out, and there's a flag. Benji Franklin in coverage, and I would fully expect Ryan Dinwiddie reaching his back pocket on this one if he doesn't like the replay.
Pass interference. Toronto number 23. It's automatic first down.
Take a look and see this one. Okay, one-on-one matchup right here between these 2 guys. Nice inside move. We'll see. It's got to be his right hand. If his right hand's impeding Kenny Lawler's ability.
A 28-yard penalty. Dinwiddie.
Don't see any angles for them to put a challenge. Nope. Ryan's not going to force a challenge. Can't tell what happened with that hand.
When he watches on as Bo Levi Mitchell is now in Argonauts territory. Shamar Bridges with a touchdown earlier in this one. Little underneath crossing route, turns it upfield. Another Hamilton first down. Inside the 30 they go.
Both seeing the field very well. Recognizing their man coverage. The tailbacks, this is an empty set. The tailback's all the way out at the end of the line of scrimmage, so he recognizes when the linebacker left, I can throw underneath for Shamar Bridges because the back has left the backfield and the middle line, the linebackers have left the box. Good throw underneath.
2 minutes remaining in the Labor Day Classic. Bo Levi Mitchell looks quickly to his right, now escapes the pocket. Thompson throws this one out of bounds over the head of Tim White. Second down and 10.
Good safe throwaway. See what happened here. They've been mostly a zone blitz pressures by the Toronto Argonauts. What are they going to try to do to Bo? What are they got to have an answer for Kenny Lawler, so they're going to have to double Kenny Lawler in some way, shape, or form.
They split Greg Bell out to the top of your screen as a wide receiver right now. Play clock rolling down.
2, 1.
Snap comes up just as it was hitting zeros. Mitchell gets it out complete underneath to the 20-yard line. And on 2nd and 10, it looks like they got 7.
Underneath player sits down. Sit down before the linebacker can expand. They're not going to give you the deep throw right there. Take the underneath throw. Put yourself in a short yardage situation. 3rd and 3 to go.
Well, Levi Mitchell 7-0 in Labor Day Classics and the fastest ever earlier this season across 100 wins as a CFL quarterback. But he stares down 3rd and 3 from the Toronto 20. Mitchell knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Winton McManus got his hand up in the way.
Winton McManus at the end of the line of scrimmage. He's going to be rushing off the edge as you see him. As he's starting to engage, he sees the ball up in the air, makes the play and knocking it down. The tackle doesn't get a piece of him. He's there to make the knockdown. There's an open receiver. Winton McManus says, not so fast. I'm going to knock the ball down. Great stop by the Argos.
Dinwiddie immediately calls for the base offense to go out and try to finish this one out, but don't go anywhere just because there's a minute 28 and the team with the lead has the football. Anything can happen in the final 3 minutes of a CFL game as Devin Berzuk helps end this play off. And it looks as though Hamilton.
Timeout, Hamilton.
Will indeed call time here to stop the clock and gather themselves for a second as Scott Milanovic hoping he gets the football back and already trying to figure out what to dial up.
Yeah, you know, at 2nd and 7 here, you would love, on your call sheet at this point, you're like, I have a couple of passes that I trust that I can complete that get me first downs, but usually a high percentage completion. So why? Because the clock you want to keep running. Or you can run the football here. You can run the football here, you get 6 yards, you put yourself in 3rd and 1. But the key is trying to eliminate any clock time from the Ticats. Don't give them any opportunity if this is an incomplete, if you don't convert this. Right? Try to make sure the clock's still running if you don't convert.
Nick Arbuckle has stepped into the role of Argonauts starting quarterback in multiple different situations. The Labor Day Classic looking for his first win in it. He'll rip it out to the sideline. Kevin Mattal cutting back. Rallying Tiger Cats defense gets the stop.
You can see Mattel there really ensuring he makes this catch. Nick just throws it out here because he's got Mattel. They've had big yardage on this early in the game. Make sure this is a completion. Gets upfield. Make sure you don't get out of bounds. So this clock will continue to run. Once they blow this in, since the Ticats have already used their timeout, trying to take as much time off the clock. Because we've seen Bo Levi Mitchell do this a number of times in his career. Marshall, bring him back
no doubt
for a win.
Travian White stands back, ready to return. John Haggerty leading the CFL. And trying to wave a player off the sideline here, it looks like, for the Hamilton Tiger Cats as they whistle this in. And Brian Cole II just got off the sideline. There was a substitution error for Hamilton. That could have been troublesome, but they dodge it as the clock rolls. Painful seconds come off for Tiger Cats fans in attendance and at home. 2 seconds left, and they do snap it. Haggerty, a wobbling boot, drops down to the 38-yard line as White gets stacked up. Isaac D'Arcangelo, Pro Football Focus's top-rated special teams player last week, down the field alongside Aaron Casey, and Bo Levi Mitchell has 48 seconds with him to work.
Really good by White making that catch in the air. The Ticats had a block on, so you're not going to get a lot of help downfield because they're trying to block that kick. Nice catch in the air by White.
White McManus had the knockdown to end that last drive on 3rd and 3. Bo Levi Mitchell, we'll be watching him standing right over the football right now with a fresh set of downs and decent field position. Mitchell loads it up, looking down the field. Kenny Lawler running free through the secondary, and Lawler hangs on to it. Inside the 20, they'll spot him at the 14.
I was watching where Kenny Lawler was. They moved him into the slot wide so you could get him a post in the middle of the field. Drew is in a position where he's outside leverage, worried about the corner route, but then the post comes in. They don't have a free safety in the middle field, and Kenny Lawler's the best in the CFL making these diving catches.
48 yards for Kenny Lawler. He crosses the 5,000-yard receiving mark. He has 114 receiving yards today, and Toronto call a timeout here, running off the sideline. Yes, it was Ryan Dinwiddie. Well, he started the day with a standing ovation coming out of the tunnel. Hamilton fans loving Kenny Lawler's move in free agency over to the black and gold. And could he end the day with even larger cheers, as all 26,000 that came are still here right now, Lapo?
Yeah. Watch this high end zone. You see the safety right here. The safety's moved out of the way, and then you also have a movement by the halfback right there. Kenny Lawler motions into the boundary, and once Bo sees the safety, moves the safety to the left, just throws it to a spot where only Kenny Lawler can make the play. Great catch by Kenny Lawler, but great recognition, moving the safety and getting him out of the way by Bo Levi Mitchell.
Again, the Toronto Argonauts in games that are decided in the final 3 minutes so far here in the 2025 CFL season, 0-6. Hamilton Tiger Cats 4-2 on the year in these tough spots down the stretch. So many CFL games come down to the very end, and who will execute better as they stand with a 1st and 10 at officially the 13-yard line. And looking at a clock issue right now, so the question here, I guess, for Scott Milanovic, Bo Levi Mitchell is, do you play off of Lawler being the guy and go to somebody else, or do you lean on your favorite?
You know, you got Kenny who's over here to the boundary. You're going to look what they're doing coverage-wise. Call your plays and throw to who's open.
Mitchell takes the snap. 4-man pressure. Checks it down underneath. Caught by Brendan O'Leary-Orange. The Canadian takes a thumping. Wynton McManus in the middle of the fray, as always.
And they did try to take a shot to Kenny Lawler. Kenny Lawler was covered. Bo went to his check down. He's looking at Kenny. Can't find Kenny here. Just scrambles, gets a check down. They can still get a first down. They only need 6 yards, it looks like, to be able to get a first down.
Snap comes up. Mitchell looks right. Kenny Lawler's open. Touchdown! With 18 seconds remaining, the Tiger Cats take the lead, and Bo Levi Mitchell becomes just the 12th CFL quarterback to ever throw 250 career touchdown passes.
Slant to the middle of field. Both safeties are separated. It's man coverage. Got to beat the underneath coverage. Kenny Lawler beats the underneath coverage for a huge play. Bo Levi Mitchell sees the picture. Beautiful throw and underneath.
They'll go for 2. But Bo knows Labor Day. He always has, and it appears he always will.
It appeared Aaron Casey was trying to was put out in coverage because they wanted to have somebody high and somebody low and underneath. Casey got beat to the outside, gave Kenny a throw on the inside.
Got to be careful. We saw Zach Collaros throw the interception. Went the other way for 2 points last night. And Bo will take a seat right there and not give up what would be a game changer of an interception. How did Lawler get so open, Lapo?
Well, there's a little twist. You see inside, they had a player over the top of him and a player underneath. That's Drew right there. Ended up in a position where he was standing over the top. Willie Drew was standing right over the top of Kenny Lawler, and they had a safety over the top. Willie Drew just gets beat inside for the touchdown. A little bit of pressure, but great drive. And again, going like you just talked about, Marshall, you keep going to your best guy. What'd they do? They put him in the boundary slot and gave him 2 opportunities for touchdowns. Bo Levi recognized and made the plays, throw those shot plays downfield. And once again, Bo Levi puts himself in a position. That's why this guy is 7-0 in Labor Day Classics. Right now, 18 seconds left with the lead, but that's a lot of time in the Canadian Football League.
We talk about crossing the 100-win mark and the 250 career touchdowns. How about the 6th career 400-yard passing game for Bo Levi Mitchell, and doing it in what is truly a classic here on Labor Day Monday at Hamilton Stadium. We'll let the crowd carry it through on the kickoff. Verslow from his own 10. He's got room to run up the middle, and he gets all the way out to the 44-yard line. Just 12 seconds remain, and Nick Arbuckle has to create some kind of magic here to flip the script.
And this is not as bad as you think. You got 12 seconds left, so you're going to work on this situation every week or every 2 weeks. You're going to go through. They're going to have a play. They have to get 1 completion. So you're going to have something that's a deep throw. That has to be a completion, and then you're going to come right up at the line of scrimmage, call a tempo play as fast as you can to get a 2nd completion and kick a field goal. You'd like to get 2 completions and then a field goal opportunity.
Toronto sitting at 3-8. Trying to find a win. They need a field goal. The wind drifting into their face. They need some yardage. Arbuckle puts it up for grabs. Deshaun Brissett caught it. He's inside field goal range, but he wants more. He's diving to the end zone, and the clock has hit zeros officially. We'll wait to see. But Deshaun Brissett just dug it off the helmet of a Tiger Cat defender. And is there time remaining on the clock?
The previous play and the clock is under review by the replay center. The clock is under review by the replay center.
So this is what's interesting. You would be talking to your players here is like, you know, normally a play is not going to be that fast, so you're going to be telling your players, hey, make sure you leave time on the clock. You work this scenario of like, you got to get a completion, but you got to get down to leave us enough time for the field goal. This just took a while. It was in the air, and he has so much time to run. Sooner or later, you got to get down. You're in field goal range. Get down. Don't try to make the touchdown. Put yourself in the best situation to kick the field goal to win the game. That's what I would call a Seiko call, whereas time is more important than yardage. Get down. Make sure you can kick a field goal.
Nick Arbuckle threw it up for grabs. Deshaun Brissett made the play, and it looks as though the foot...
After automatic review by the replay center, the ball carrier stepped out of bounds at the 4-yard line with 1 second remaining.
1 second on the clock.
I think the Ticats fans aren't sure what's happening here. They're cheering he stepped out of bounds. No. You wanted him inbounds. He was inbounds. There's no more time in the game. So, little confusion here. So that just puts them in a position to kick the field goal.
Maximum protection here. Liram Hairolahu for the win. Is you see the left foot right there. The white cleat of Deshaun Brissett.
I zoom it right there.
Yeah. With 1 second remaining on the clock, the CFL Replay Center looks at it and gets it correct. And now a flag comes out in the end zone as they're getting set for Liram Hairolahu, the former Hamilton Tiger Cat.
There's no infraction on the play.
To kick the game-winning field goal. So they pick up the flag. Tim Croker clarifying there. And 51-38 was the final earlier on this season as Hamilton dominated Bo Levi Mitchell with 5 touchdown passes. And with 18 seconds left, it looked as though it was all over. A black and gold victory. But Hairolahu kicks it through the uprights. The flag will go against Hamilton for trying to block it. And the Argonauts somehow, some way, steal the Labor Day Classic.
This will be a pyramiding call that will be declined. What an amazing game.
Hamilton, a penalty is declined. The field goal is good.
What an amazing game for the Toronto Argonauts. Nick Arbuckle and company to be able to come back and win this game. You know, Scott Milanovich's team had a great second half. Argos found a way, made their plays. Amazing opportunity. Great big plays. Brissett, amazing. Right? Laram Hairolahu makes this huge play. Nick Arbuckle, another solid football game.
Well, this one will feel so much sweeter than the 52 points that they scored last week, their most since 1997, and an absolutely sour ending to the regular season game that you need to win. You want to win. You crave winning here in Hamilton for the fans. 26,000 fans in attendance, and Dejon Brissett just stunned them. He's with Matthew Shinetti.